And a warm welcome to everybody joining us from the MCG for Showdown 60. No late changes. Aaron Bryans and Tom Wilson calling the action for you alongside premiership players Lauren Arnell and Rod Jamieson. It is a little bit one-sided on paper, this matchup, but history says they tend to, more often than not, be absolute epics. 35% of the time they end up being decided by 2 goals or less. And history says the higher-ranked side has only won 61% of the time. So littered with upsets and iconic moments. We'll see what's in store for us tonight with Port Adelaide and the Adelaide Crows.
Have you had an iconic showdown moment, Jamo?
I can't recall.
Can you take us through that, please?
Scott Cummings had a big mouth.
How much can you share of what was said?
Well, the history, it feels like I've said this 120 times, actually. But in the first one, I was a bit overwhelmed at the time, and I surprised myself. I actually did it, I must admit. I boxed for 8 years, it was just good fitness, and I never was one to initiate things. But there was Jason McCartney was at Collingwood, and Cummings came from Essendon. So there was a history previously to them, but both coming to each club. And I was standing next to Cummings, and he did have a big mouth. He was giving it to Carts a lot, and I think Carts was standing Brendan Lade, and they sort of started to walk to each other, and Carts was coming back and Lade was there, and then they got close and they sort of pushed each other, and then Cummings just launched and just grabbed him by the throat, and when he did that, that's when I tipped and just said, you've been here 2 minutes, you're going to have some of this. And then it started, and it sort of went for a little bit. And then he threw a punch at me, and it missed, and so I started again, and then that's the footage you see.
So you got done by the edit.
I got done by the edit. I did. So I blame you for that again too.
Just excuse me while I jump on Google.
Yep. So you've told the story a few times on air, Jamo, but I feel like every time you paint yourself in a better light.
I just love the commentary, and I'm pretty sure Dennis Cometti, typical Dennis Cometti, Jamieson doing a lot of work outside, Cummings doing a lot of work inside his jumper. But it started in the back pocket, and the footy went from our defence to our forward, and I think it was Don Scott was the other, and he's just going, the commentary's going, he's going, all the way down. And then the goal umpire, I got reported by the boundary umpire, and he wasn't even nearby. The goal umpire didn't even see it.
I feel like the story's evolving as you tell it.
We're moments away from the game getting underway, so we'll leave you in your spotlight, Jamo. No late changes, as I touched on. Rod Jamieson, Lauren Arnell here for the call. And yes, in the 59 editions previously before tonight, it has been absolutely heated. These two sides do not like each other regardless of the ladder position. They would love nothing more than to beat the crosstown rival. The text line tonight, 0437 774 774. In terms of the lineups, Port Adelaide with 5 changes, 2 of them forced. Noah Sava-Radagalier with the ruptured patella. Harrison Ram omitted as well. So Brandon Zerk-Thatcher with the tough task with Alir and Lockie Jones to lock down Walker, Thilthorpe and Fogarty. Meanwhile, the Crows get Isaac Cumming and Josh Worrell back to an already star-studded lineup, but Wayne Miller out through an injured hamstring. Who's winning and why tonight, crew?
I think, as we've mentioned, the Crows at the top end of the ladder and absolutely in form. I think Port Adelaide will put up a really strong fight, but the class that the Crows have shown over the last month on field, I think will come down too heavy on Port Adelaide tonight. I think it'll be at least a 5-goal win to the Crows.
I think the matchup I'm really looking forward to is Lockie McAndrew and Jordan Sweet. Jordan Sweet has had a huge year. Again, last week he had 20 disposals, 34 hit-outs against almost the number 1 ruck in the competition. Against Darcy Cameron, whereas Lockie McAndrew went up against Max Gawn and absolutely belted him too. So that will be a serious matchup.
The 5th member of our commentary team tonight is Braden Ingram downstairs. He was watching on at the coin toss. Braden, what do you see down there?
Yeah, it's the Crows skipper who's had the first win of the night, Aaron. He has won the toss and kicking to the southern end, so the hill and the left of your radio dial. A beautiful day it was in Adelaide in South Australia. It's now a chilly night, 12 degrees. We're not expecting any rain though, and only a light easterly. In terms of the benches, A couple of J's on the power bench. Jackson Mead, Joe Berry, Jace Burgoyne, Jacob Ware and Mitch Zatto. While for the Crows, Ben Key, Sam Berry, Hugo Hawker-Hahn, Taylor Walker and Luke Nankervis, who suffered a broken nose at training in the Matt Sim on Wednesday. He's out here, ready to go. No late changes. Let's get this thing started.
He missed our mail off the top as well. Zach Butters has told some teammates he's headed out the door, but he's on ball to start tonight. It's Showdown 60, Port Adelaide and Adelaide on ABC Sport. You're with Tom Wilson.
Zach Butters on Jordan Dawson. We're in for a sight. Sweet knocks it down to Horn Francis, who gets the first clearance for the power in the prison bar jumper. Up to centre half forward. Mark Keane and Josh Worrell coming back into the side. Gets the handball away to Michael Annie. A tackle from Richards will have a ball up 40 out from goal.
Willem Drew on a wing as well, matching up with Braden Cook.
So McAndrew knocks it down, rowed by Butters to Horn Francis, who goes on the left towards the pocket. Visentini was held for a moment there by Keane, not seen by the umpire. So we'll have a throw in left forward pocket for the power.
Important one for Port Adelaide tonight. Dante Visentini not starting on the bench as a second ruck. He's starting as a tall forward, which they need to do to stretch these Adelaide tall defenders.
Good to see Mark Keane back.
Tall, an understatement for Dante. He's 202. Absolute monster as it's tossed in.
You could run through his legs.
McAndrew with the fist, but only found Richards. Off balance, tight angle, looks for the curler from 20. It'll pitch up, top of the goal square, and knocked through by Isaac Cumming. Port Adelaide with the lead early. Solitary point to get us underway in the first minute.
Good start, Port Adelaide. Full on attack, out of the middle, good pressure, tackling inside their forward 50.
Worrell goes short to Laird, who plays on quickly from the right back pocket out towards Fogarty, who was held by Zerk Thatcher. So he'll win the free kick. Defensive side of centre wing. Plays on quickly. Looking for Saligo. Sweet got in front of him. Jones goes in hard. Ball in dispute. Neil Bullen on the hands and knees. Working hard there is Burn Jones. Neil Bullen goes again. Two double-barrelled names. But only finds Alir. A left half-back. Handballs to Horn Francis. So many double-barrelled names. Goes into the middle of the ground and finds Georgiades.
It's a night for the hyphens. Georgiades with a short pass to Whitlock, who presents at the attacking edge, right half forward. Has a runner. Here's Zach Butters. Pulls the kick up towards Bammett. Just outside the 50. Good vision as he turns and squares it up to Ollie Wines. 45 out, straight in front.
Electric footy from Port Adelaide to start the night. They love the way they shifted the ball and used the width of the ground. Zach Butters with the overlap. Handball receive. I reckon he ran 90 metres to get it as well. And some nice patience from Bammett, who we've seen show good moments in the last couple of weeks forward.
So the Brownlow medalist, who was managed last week, questions over his future. Ollie Wines decides to go low and hard from 60, sets it up to the top of the goal square. Rankin brought it down, ball ace under pressure. Got it out to Cumming, buffeted off it by Horn Francis. He's a bully. Smashed his way through and snaps it from 10. Port Adelaide up by 7 in Showdown 60. 2 minutes played on ABC Sport with Rod Jamieson and Lauren Arnell.
Yeah, it's a good summary, Loz, too, just where Port Adelaide, they look sharp, don't they? They're kicking, looking inside that short one, not bombing away, not allowing Adelaide to have to sit under the footy or third man up. And just another incident there in Horn Francis, just his ability to tackle. Adelaide had 2 or 3 handballs, couldn't clear it, came loose, and great goal. That's what we were saying earlier too. That's where he needs to be, and that's where you'll get a greater return if he's in the middle and up forward.
Horn Francis had 4 disposals in less than 3 minutes, 110 metres gained. You couldn't start a Showdown any better.
Yeah. He's built for it. 20th goal of the season. The former #1 pick. He's up against Jordan Dawson.
Starting to see his moustache now.
It's coming through, Jamo. Back in the middle of the ground, McAndrew knocks it down, winds up against Peatling. The 2 stoppers, fires a handball out towards Butters, rather. It's smothered, goes up high, Sweet knocks it out forward towards Lukosius, rolls around on that right boot, long towards Visentini, but too good there was Borlase, who's having quite a year. He's got the match up on Mitch Georgiades.
Just his second Showdown tonight. Short pass to Jordan Dawson, the dual Showdown medalist. Kick up to left half back, pinpoint. Outnumbered was Saligo, and he marks in the air. Kicks over the top to Philthorpe. The Crows have a bit of overlap here. Philthorpe will wheel in. Sends it towards the 50. Fogarty's got some time to run. Zerk Thatcher strong with the fist. Fogarty buffets Burn Jones away on the bounce. Zerk Thatcher's there again. The handball is poor. Just gives it away to Philthorpe, who releases Cook. The dangerous spot left half forward, other side from his match-winning goal. But he's spewed it off the side of the boot. rolls out towards Port Adelaide's favour, and Will and Drew just can't break three in front of the benches. As Josh Wall wraps him up and forces a boundary throw in. It's Port by 7.
That's the ability of Adelaide's one wood, isn't it, too? They go from one end of the ground really quick. Dawson getting the left foot kick out wide to Saligo, and then away they went.
So from the boundary throw in, fisted towards the boundary, and Cook's happy to take it over. Right in front of the power bench. 5 minutes gone in this hot start to Showdown 60. Port Adelaide with the only goal.
I think it's cold here, Jamo. We just got a text from Duffy, Karen and Caleb in Tassie. -4 degrees at the Great Lakes.
Oh, definitely not.
It was 4 degrees when I walked there one night last year.
Dawson with the clearance, goes to Cumming, who's back into the team, flicks it back. Michaelani tried to shrug the tackle, got a handball away just in time to Cumming. Ball in dispute in the middle of the ground. Working hard again is Michaelani. Back to Dawson, who dropped it. That's rare from him. Rarely fumbles the footy. Ball in dispute out towards the wing. Drew pushes McAndrew off it. The turnover. Burgoyne to Wines.
Has some space in front of the benches. Across the body, up to right half forward. Coming across is keen to bring it down. Has some support with ball ace. Adelaide escape. Out to Rory Laird, the all-time disposal winner in showdowns. Left half back. Has an option presenting. Sends up towards McAndrew, just behind centre wing. The ruckman on the 45 instep. Uses Braden Cook, and Adelaide slowing things down. Yet to score, down 7, up to the attacking edge. Kick is picked off. Logan Evans and Josh Lowe are ready for it. Take your pick. Mid-season product from 2 years ago gets it. Red leg Logan Evans heads back towards Aaliyah. Marks in the defensive 50 all alone. 8 intercept marks back in round 8. Will send it up to the eastern side. Front position. Committing the body was Lukosius, and follows up with a tackle on the drop as well as he wraps up Ben Keys. Reports during the week that when you rupture a Baker's cyst, it actually is good for you, Jamo, and sounds like he's going to be even more free to play through the wing tonight.
I guess at the time he wasn't sure quite what popped and in his mind, but no, great relief.
Fumbles that one, goes through his legs, but Sweet does the work on the ground. Fetches a handball to Mead, tackled by Berry. Last showdown medal winner. It causes a turnover rather. Laird to Worrell, up long towards Rankin. Beat them all, so Fogarty just taps it forward out towards Walker. And it went along the paint of the boundary line. We'll have it thrown right in front of the scoreboard. Port Adelaide, the only team to score. They're 1-1-7. 7 minutes gone in this first term.
Wouldn't be able to tell. They're down in the bottom 4 right now, the Power. Hill is packed. Seats are full. Sold out crowd. They'd love to get one on the Crows, even if their season is dead in the water. Tossed in, McAndrew taps it down towards the scoreboard, rolls back over, and will try again. Jason on Francis with 4 early in the goal. Zach Butters with 3 touches. Rory Laird with 4 of his own.
Adelaide set up well now behind the footy. Port Adelaide's probably one of their challenges all year, isn't it? How quickly they can move it out of the defensive area.
Crows inside 50 at the northern end. McAndrew down. Butters went for the volley. Didn't make the contact he wanted. Dawson picks it off. Handed it wide. Taylor gets it across. The kick across the body towards goal. No good. And off hands, it heads over the boundary line. So will be tossed into play. Left forward pocket. Braden Cook had a stab but just couldn't quite curl it through.
Still Sweet that kicked it off the ground and did that then. Butters.
Yeah. Tried the Socceroo style, but just couldn't really get it.
Dangerous.
McAndrew down. Found Fogarty. Quickly tackled by Lear. Drops the footy play on. Port swarm. They've got numbers everywhere. Ware gets it wide. Burgoyne with the exit up to right half back. Big push enables the mark for Georgiades.
It's a clever one. It was almost a push in the shoulder. It looked like in the back, but I think he got him a bit higher, and good timing from Georgiades.
Does give up a lot of ground, though, as they switch to the defensive 50. So Zerk Thatcher heads wide to Aaliyah.
Wide to the other side of the ground. Lukosius has been busy. That flat, long kick that he does so well.
That's outrageous.
It is, isn't it?
What a kick.
Yeah.
Did it a few times against the Pies last week before that injury we've touched on. So Richards has got it forward of centre wing, outer side of the ground. Inboard to Evans on the logo. He's going to go back to Aaliyah at centre half back. So trying to be precise here, the Power. Full switch on now to Lie. Members side logo.
That is 7 kicks where they started, and they've probably gone for now maybe 40 metres forward.
Now to Berry, Jamo. Just forward of centre wing. Here comes the long kick now. Up towards Georgiades. So The patience paid off. He marks 45 out on a 45-degree angle at right half forward.
A couple of good involvements for Georgiades here. He had to win the ball up a little bit higher. He got beaten in his first contest by ball layers, but to win the ball high in the back half and then get back and beat him in the air, you can see the strategy. Jamo, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it after this set shot, but for Port Adelaide just to shift the ball patiently and be brave with their ball movement as opposed to just going long down the line. They're avoiding that at all costs.
Power fans will be covering their eyes as Mitch Georgiades comes in. Is he on tonight, Big Mitch? Their leading goal kicker, and it starts right. We saw that a few times last week against the Pies. Minus score 1-2-8. 10 minutes gone. The Crows are yet to score. Braden Ingram on the boundary.
Star Crow Isaac Rankin's just come to the bench for what looks to be a regular interchange, but he just looked a little bit of discomfort. The doctor just feeling around the bottom end of his back, so just wanted to keep an eye on him.
31 goals, 35 for Mitch Georgiades this year, and it feels like the easy ones are the ones he struggles with. Adelaide's exiting kick, a couple of bodies down the corridor in the centre square, and it comes down and tackles laid by Butters to hold up Neil Bullen.
I was listening to our ABC call earlier today with West Coast. I think Jake Waterman too is also struggling to sleep at night.
Sweet straight down to Butters. He just jammed it forward a hit and hope. Ball could bounce wide and rolls just outside the 25-metre line. So left forward pocket for Port Adelaide. Riverbank stand in at the moment. Braden Ingram downstairs.
Yeah, Jack Lukosius, who we know had that calf issue, you've been mentioning it regularly, is now on the bike. Just had a quick chat to the doctors, so that's an interesting one. Keeping a close look at that one to see if he has to come back on.
Sweet down on the boundary throw in. Hit Richards. Laser pass central to Whitlock. Another set shot to come for Port Adelaide.
I think the patience by foot from Port Adelaide's been really impressive. We know the Crows love to go long down the line and play fast off that. Their ability to control the ball so far in this game has been very, very good.
Jack Whitlock, just his second showdown tonight. Long approach as he crosses the paint of 50. The crowd rise for it as well, and he misses to the left. Port's inaccuracy plaguing them all year. And it's lively early. 1-3-9. Adelaide yet to score. 11 played on ABC Sport.
They had 55 inside 50s last week and got rolled, and already we're seeing that sort of sneaking in. Both of those misses are almost out of the full.
Paul Kahan out of defence, long towards McAndrew, and ended up in Sweet's hands, but had enough of the footy. Flicks it back to Michaelani, running forward, looking for Nankervis and Taylor Walker. Can he keep it in, Tex? The umpire says no. So this will have to be a lasso free kick, because if it's out of bounds, it's impossible that he could have touched it. Been already out of bounds. So the umpires are conferring.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tom.
They've called a throw-in.
Why wouldn't they go to the bunker? Just like you would have seen that right now.
It can't be both.
No.
It's just remarkable.
Well, yeah, it has to be play on then.
That's right. So boundary throw in. Mead wins the clearance, goes short, finds Berry. Off to Drew by hand to Wines. Dangerous. That's an underground handball. It was genius to Horn Francis, who tried to take on the tackle of Worrell, and he wrapped him up.
That whatever happened with Josh Worrell last week, he's redeemed himself already.
He can do it again next week.
That's a ripping tackle.
All is forgiven. The wild thing strikes. Worrell heads to Mark Keane.
We were talking earlier about the first showdown. If that had been in the 90s, Jason Horne-Francis might not be playing anymore tonight.
No, he would have lined him up harder than that, but she was an emphatic tackle. Keane's short pass to Dawson. Places it well up to left half forward. Berry takes the mark. The reigning showdown medalist. 19 tackles the last time they met. Opens the angle, 60 from home. Sets it up in the Walker direction. 4 fly with him from Port Adelaide. Couple of Crows stay down. One of them's Fogarty, but he's set upon. Couple of tackles holding the ball. Free kick to the power in the right back pocket. They currently lead 9-0.
Only took 3 players to take him down. He's just a brute too, isn't he?
He's just built for it, isn't he? Ducked the head early, so probably gave up his prior there.
I wish he had played in the 90s.
He's built for the 90s, Jamo. Down the line, and Babbitt dropped the sitter. Fell on the lap of Visentini. Flicked it back towards Drew, but he was under pressure. Kicks it straight to Mark Keane at centre wing. He plays on quickly, looking for Rochelle. Live flies and catches. Lovely mark from the youngster. Like his game at right half back, takes an important intercept.
He's been reading the ball early and peeling off, be third man up and doing a great job on Rochelle so far, Josh Lai.
Bangs it long down the line and off the hands of Keane. Berry's coming across. Shoots the handball inboard. Wines loops it through 2, but it's sharked by Keane. Gave it across to Hawker-Hahn, who was steamrolling through the pack, but left the footy behind in the process. And then a tackle lingers on him without it. Bammett gives it away. Hawker-Hahn quickly kicks it out towards Laird, moves it up to half forward. Berry turns on a dime and bursts towards the 50, drills at top of the goal square, and Fogarty puts down the mark but follows up. Darcy Fogarty curls it from 10 for Adelaide's first of the night. One straight 6 the Crows. Port 139, 15 played in showdown 60. Braden Ingram's downstairs for ABC Sport.
Isaac Rankin back on the ground and all good. Jack Lukosius has walked up and down the boundary twice. He's clearly not feeling 100%. We do know that Josh Carr said earlier in the week he would have a jab to manage the pain. I think he'll come back on, but just not ideal the early start for this game for Jack Lukosius.
And particularly after the impact loss he's already having too, when he's got hold of the football, deadly kick, low, hard, and whether it's forward or in the middle of the ground.
He did start the game reasonably well. It's such a challenging one for all involved. You just hope he can get back out there and put his name forward.
If you do something like Joe, or just suggested in regards to seeing the doctor, he's going to miss 2 or 3 afterwards to recover.
Byzantini now in the ruck and got a clean tap to Horn Francis, who was taken high by Berry.
Does look like Lukosius is ready to go back on. He's waved at Willem Drew to get the next rotation.
Oh, risky ball there from Horn Francis, and he's turned it over. A kick to me did not favour him, so Keys goes back to Hawker-Hahn, looking for Rochelle, who is clean on the half volley, chips over the top, looking for the goal kicker and Fogarty, who knocks it back to Rochelle, who goes for a dribbling goal! Special from Betts, from Rankin. Now it's Rochelle's pocket. And the Crows get back-to-back goals. They're 2 straight 12. Port 139. 16 and a half gone first term.
Well, Jamo, Rochelle had a ripping game last week. 3 goals, 3 against the D's. And that involvement, the clean hands at ground level, the first touch, and then the second one on the boundary line. There's no looking back for Josh Rochelle. That is a special showdown moment.
That is outstanding. His kick was just a bit short for Darcy Fogarty, but on the boundary, he's really given it a fair old whack. And then the last one has probably bounced higher than Darcy Byrne-Jones would have had he even got there too. But as he's done previous times in these games, he's gone straight over to the fence and got pretty close. And I think he got a fair bit of feedback from a Port Adelaide guy hanging over the ice. Didn't he?
Showdowns are all about moments. Port had 6 of the first 8 inside 50s, but just the 1 goal to show for it. And now the Crows have back-to-back to take the lead. Big push in the middle as we reset. Saligo gives it away. Wines will hand it off towards Horn Francis. Port inside 50. Couple of fists out the back door. Berry's tracking it but running out of room. And Hawker-Hahn will have scored him over. It is Adelaide by 3 points. 17 played opening term.
Just how dangerous you can be when you just see Rochelle take the football clean first time, and the time that then it allows him to use the football and settle down and execute.
So classy. Boundary throw-in, Sweets up forward, up against Thilthorpe in the ruck, flip back to Rankin in the right back pocket, clearing kick, long down the line. Walker brought it down towards Fogarty, handball to Neil Bullen, who slipped. We got the handball out to Taylor Walker again, who finds Keys on the chest. Thought about playing on. He's going to come back over the mark on the wing. Now goes inside the forward 50. Flying at that one is Lai, who's got in front of Rochelle. Another intercept mark. Short to Butters. The bright yellow boots on. He's at centre-half back for the Power. They trail by 3 points.
Ben Keys just took too long to get it in there. He had the space.
Hospital kick from Butters as he put Lukosius under the pump. Coming came from behind. Got the fist in and the inside 50 entry. But getting in front once again is Josh Lai on Rochelle. 11th game tonight with a supplementary selection.
3 intercept marks already in the back half from Josh Lai.
Heads up towards the benches. Fists come on Thilthorpe. Front position. Putting his head over the footy is Nankervis with the broken nose and all. Gets it to Peatling. Then Worrell inside 50. Saligo 2 to beat. Got his hands to it but couldn't quite reel it in. It's fisted over the boundary line. 15 out. Left forward pocket for the Crows.
Really disappointing. The last 3 kicks that have gone forward for Adelaide have had to get over the back for a Port Adelaide defender. it makes it exceptionally hard to do that. They have to come lower and they've got to come forward.
Boundary throw in. Phil Thorpe, the man in front, knocks it towards Rankin. We'll watch that go out over the boundary line. So after early inside 50 dominance for the Power, they were 6-2 up at one stage. Adelaide leading that 9-7. Have a 3-point lead. With the 2 straight kicks. Another boundary throw in. Phil Thorpe knocks it down, rowed by Butters. Goes a banana kick out of defence and into space. There'll be a foot race on with Berry and Hall Kahan. Berry's on his left boot, goes short and finds Georgiades. About 80 from goal. Needs to get the troops to arrive. Goes short to Mead. Marks in front of Laird. Back to Lockie Jones in the centre square. Tried to do this with precision, haven't they, Port? Butters now kicks inside the forward 50 to Babbitt, who marks 35 out directly in front.
Another really patient build-up from Port Adelaide. Because the footy had come from the D50 stoppage, Adelaide had a spare behind the ball. So Berry's ability to find Georgiades on the lead and just slow down and wait for everyone to catch up, as you called it so well, Tom. It's good footy. I think Adelaide have controlled most of the quarter, but Port Adelaide are taking their opportunities, just not in this phase of the game with the set shots.
Big moment for young Babbitt in just his third game. He's got a big left foot, just leans on it and pulls it away to the right-hand side. Another minus score for the Power. 1-4-10. That was the easiest of the chances. Another one goes begging. 21 gone. They trail by 2 points.
I've seen this move here before.
Yep.
You're pulling your hair out as a Power supporter. At a defensive 50, Hall Kahan takes the kick in, plays on, sends it towards the square, ricochets off a couple of bodies, and Neil Bullen's clean. Got it to Peatling and he brushes off Butters. Just can't find a teammate with the handball. Logan Evans didn't get down low enough though. Walker can gather and slap it towards Dawson. It's coming back for a hold. Jordan Dawson to receive it. Mitch Sado, the offender. Dawson inside 50, places it to a 3-on-3. Alia's in front, but tapped it straight down to Neil Bullen. The nibbler gobbles it up. Adelaide's had the last 3 goals and they're up by 8 in showdown 60. 3 straight 18, plays 1-4-10. Time on in the opening term with Lauren Arnell and Rod Jamieson.
Efficient football, Loz, just keeps you in it too, doesn't it? And when you do go forward and you look dangerous, it's been too easy for Adelaide to score the goals they have in such a short space of time.
Yeah, the Crows look electric, don't they? And I think that we've seen 2 goals from Adelaide after free kicks have been called around the middle of the ground. And Port Adelaide have just been far too slow to transition. And credit to Crows, they're just playing on instinct. They're putting them under the pump. They're making the defenders defend. And with the volume of inside 50s now, there's only so many you can defend. Crows 10, Port 8, and Port just not taking their chances in front of goal.
They're getting their first hand on it. They're 12-3 clearances in favour of Port.
Sweet with the knockdown. Butters v Peatling. Horn Francis from the back, sockers it forward. Up to left half forward. Keane read it better than Whitlock. Fires the handball back to Laird at right half back. He kicks a high ball, outer side wing. Flying at that was Ware. Couldn't complete the mark. Roving his Butters. Got away in time. Fell back to Cook. His kick was partially smothered by Burne-Jones, who goes for a second effort. Underground ball to Richards, who's streaming towards the forward line. Goes for the long kick now to Georgiades on an absolute platter. He marks 30 metres out left forward pocket.
He surely kicks this one, hey guys. From a pocket. It's not set shot in front like the rest feel like they have been.
He's going to snap this one, Loz, I think, too.
Oh, he'll be right. He has to be.
It is the best spot for a snap for a right footer. And it doesn't matter where he runs to, because he's allowed to play on with time still going. Snaps around the body, Mitch Georgiades. And the noise of affirmation. Mitch Georgiades completes the goal. Big relief for the Power. They get their second of the night. 2-4-16 Adelaide, 3 straight 18, 24 gone. First term for ABC Sport.
Jamo, as good as the Crows have looked when they've got on the outside, I think Port have done so much right in this quarter. The build-up that they've had from their back half and the patience they've had inside 50, and that entry kick from Joe Richards deserves its own highlight reel. I love that kick to advantage for Georgiades, and you just wonder the 4 points that they've scored. If even 2 of those had gone through, you're putting the Crows under enormous pressure going into quarter time. But they've done a lot right so far.
They've defended well. They're 10 tackles to 7 in favour of Port. They've looked a bit scrappy in the back half. And you're right, they have been patient, but if they can deliver like that into their forward 50 and Georgiades doesn't have to break stride or contest, it's going to be so much easier for them to kick goals.
Crows by 2, and here come the power again. Sweep down to Horn Francis. Drew inside 50. Couple of flyers, hits the deck. Whitlock manages to extract it as he paddles it out to Mitch Georgiades. Bang, bang. Port get 2 in a row. And they hit the front once again. 3-4-22. Adelaide 3 straight 18. 3 minutes to go in the opening term of Showdown 60. With their premiership players on ABC Sport, Lauren Arnell and Rod Jamison.
Jamo, we always knew it to be a hot contest, but there's been some big moments, particularly from Horn Francis inside. But even Jack Whitlock, he's built like a giraffe, got his hands dirty at ground level inside 50, which helped set up that goal. And Horn Francis, 8 disposals, 4 contested, 4 uncontested, and almost 200 metres gained already in this first quarter. He's leading from the front.
Just trying to see here what happened. You had Keane and Worrell go to ground. Bourlays is on the bench. They've actually allowed Georgiades to come around to the front, and the handball's gone out to him. Too easy.
Back in the middle of the ground, Butters with a high ball. Out towards Joey Richards, who's having some quarter. Rove that well, got put in the washing machine there by Michael Annie. Probably not much prior, but a great tackle. And he'll win the ball. Coming off the back of Mitch Georgiades' 200th goal in the big time. So Michael Annie goes short to Rankin. Defensive side of centre wing. Pumps it long up to left half forward towards the 2 rucks. Thilthorpe roved, centering ball to Taylor. He's got time, flicks it off to Dawson. He loves a goal in a showdown. Not this time. So their first miss of the night. A snapshot on the left boot from the skipper. They go to 3-1-19. Port 3-4-22. 26 and a half gone.
So Mitch Georgiades, the 10th power player in history to reach 200 goals. And continues his goal-scoring streak, 37 straight games.
It's impressive.
What a kick from Lockie Jones here. He has pounded it up towards the logo. Couple of fists in, front and square, quick tackle laid as Drew holds up Sam Berry.
Well, that's another story, isn't it, too? What might unfold at the end of the year, too. Zach Butters and Georgiades just has to stay.
What about the tap there? McAndrew, Hollywood style, overhead to a surging player as Rankin kicks it towards the 50. And Darcy Fogarty gets a crack on the quick snap on the bounce from 45, misses wide right. And it is Port Adelaide by 2 in the closing stages of the first quarter of Showdown 60.
So Logan Evans with the footy. Plays on from fullback. Pumps it up towards the logo. Whitlock and Sweet, they spoiled each other. Left it for McAndrew. Handball to Rankin, wrapped up in a strong tackle from Butters. Holding the ball there, hot on it tonight. I don't mind them paying holding the balls for good tackles.
I don't mind it either, but that seemed to be really quick on that occasion.
It was quick earlier on Joe Richards too. So short to
Oh, look at this.
Jack Lukosius on the logo inside the forward 50. Looks like we've got an injury in the back play. We'll get to Braden Ingram shortly. The Crows are trying to work this out of defence by hand. Turned it over an important time, but a fumble there from Georgiades. Out towards Rochelle, centre wing. There's space for his teammate Saligo to work with. Handballs to Keys. They've got run and they've got numbers. Keys hits Thilthorpe on the chest in the pocket. Right in front of the scoreboard, 30 out from home, Braden Ingram.
Not just an injury, Tom. It's Isaac Rankin who limped off in that holding the ball tackle. He knew something was wrong straight away and came to the bench. He's on the massage table at the moment. The doctors are having a look at him.
Is it knee or ankle, do you reckon?
I think ankle. Give me another 30 seconds, Jamo.
Yeah, knew something was wrong straight away. Just can't get a consistent run out of Isaac Rankin. He is so important to their premiership push. Riley Thilthorpe, this will take a good kick, 40 metres out, tough angle in the pocket. Oh boy, that's another one in front of the scoreboard. He goes straight to the power fans and applauds himself and puts the Crows back in front. Their stars are shining tonight in a way showdown. The Crows, they're 4-2-26, Port 3-4-22, 29 gone in the first term of Showdown 60 for ABC Sport, Braden Ingram.
Yeah, so it's his right leg, Isaac Rankin. They're currently testing the knee as well, so doing all the checks, but it's a wait and see.
They've just showed it on the big screen, Braden, and it looks like a right ankle. So Zach Butters has tackled His knee has landed on, and his right ankle is the issue.
Bent the wrong way, didn't it?
Yep. And the doctor's looking at the knee too.
A bit of force went from Butters on the outside of Rankin's leg, putting force through the middle. And hopefully he's okay.
Crows by 4, 3 lead changes. McAndrew straight down to Berries, tackled immediately by Butters. Got the ball out and Berries crunched for his troubles. There's so much feeling in this one. Sound like a broken record, but showdowns, gee, they deliver.
2 big tackles, both sides.
McAndrew down, but it's sharked by Horne-Francis. Quick kick towards right half forward. They've got some time if they can get there. Just trickles over the boundary line. Zatto did everything he could, but it will be a last disposal free kick for the Crows. 30 seconds to work with. They lead by 4 at the moment. Laird brings it in, placing it up towards centre wing. Front position, Dan Curtin. Comes in from the side, takes the mark against Lockie Jones. Up towards the 50. On the march is Rochelle, but Aaliyah came back, got in his way and rode the contact to cut it off. And that might just do us for the first chapter of Showdown 60. Aaliyah will pump it back towards the logo. Good fly in space. Georgiades takes the mark, turns up towards the 50, right on the paint. They get a mark here, there'll be a chance. And it is Max Michaelani who will cut it off. And it is Adelaide by 4 points at the first change. What a contest so far. But the big news is Isaac Rankin. What's happening downstairs, Braden?
Yeah, so it's definitely the knee that they're looking at more so than the ankle. It looks like they're going to try and at least strap him up here, Rankin. So they'll do that during the quarter time break and then see if he can actually put weight through and do some run-throughs and go from there. I'll keep an eye on it.
Plenty happening here at the Adelaide Oval. Good day of footy as well. Carlton defeating West Coast by 53 and Collingwood over Richmond at the MCG by 34. Goal scorers at the first change, all individual for Adelaide. So Phil Thorpe, Rochelle, Neil Bullen and Fogarty. And for Port Adelaide, Mitch Georgiades with the double, brings up his 200th. And Jason Horne-Francis had the opener in the first couple of minutes. Crows 4-2-26, Port Adelaide 3-4-22. Run through some of your texts up next. 0437 774 774 on ABC Local Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital. This is Saturday Footy on ABC Sport.
Do you know the next Australian of the Year? Are they raising funds for those in need? Or building a brighter future? Conducting research? Or inspiring future astronauts? See them, hear them, nominate them at australianoftheyear.org.au.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Sets it up to the top of the goal square. Rankin brought it down. Ball ace under pressure. Got it out to Cumming. Buffeted off it by Horne-Francis. He's a bully. Smashed his way through and snaps it from 10. Port Adelaide up by 7.
Chips over the top, looking for the goal kicker rather than Fogarty, who knocks it back to Rochelle, who goes for a dribbling goal. Rochelle is special.
Dawson inside 50, places it to a 3-on-3. Elias in front, but touches straight down to Neil Bullen. The nibbler gobbles it up. Adelaide's had the last 3 goals. Down to Horne-Francis, Drew inside 50, couple of flyers, hits the deck. Whitlock manages to extract it as he paddles it out to Mitch Georgiades. Bang, bang. Port get 2 in a row.
Riley Thilthorpe, this will take a good kick. 40 metres out, tough angle in the pocket. Oh, boy, that's another one in front of the scoreboard. He goes straight to the power fans and applauds himself and puts the Crows back in front.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
It's a legacy littered with upset showdowns. In the 49 previous editions, the lower-ranked side has won 23 times. Port Adelaide wants to continue that trend, but Adelaide right in the midst of it as well with a late surge, up by 4 at the first change. So 4-2-26 the Crows, and the Power up for the fight, 3-4-22 alongside him. Aaron Bryans and Tom Wilson calling the action alongside Lauren Arnell and Rod Jamieson. We'll get their thoughts in just a moment, but some really special news as part of Fox Footy's coverage tonight. So we know Tony Modra has gone through numerous surgeries after his crash down south and is on the mend right now in his recovery. Mark Rasciuto was able to share a message from Mods to the fans as he gets through what is a difficult time.
G'day everybody. I'm really looking forward to watching tonight's showdown. I've heard I've had a lot of support, not by just Crows fans, but Port fans as well. So I'd just like to thank everybody. Hope everyone has a great night tonight. Looking forward to the friendly banter and the two teams putting on a great show for South Australia. Enjoy the game and make sure you drive home safe.
So heartwarming to hear from a man who was idolised in this state and across the country in the footballing community, Jamo. I think the whole city and state came together for what was a scary incident, and it's great to hear him up and about.
It's actually really hard to hear. That really is. So he's. We were very lucky at the time. So I reached out to Erica, his wife, but Roo was that one constant, and we've got a past players WhatsApp chat, and so sort of 24 hours before it was becoming public, we knew his status at the time, and the concern was one around his left eye, I think it was, his cheekbone and his jaw, and that was the first operation he had. So I can only imagine, just listening to him then tried to talk, that he's had multiple operations, I think, since last Friday. So once we sort of got through that first 24 hours, we knew he was going to be safe. That was sort of the main thing, and then the rest was sort of going to unfold with what they need to do to get it right. And in the chat, I was going to go visit him on Sunday, and Erica just said, no, just stay away. He remembered everything about the incident itself, so it was just really hard for him. So we've just let the family go, and Roo's been tremendous with that contact and sharing it with everyone, you know, certainly with the Adelaide family anyway, so we know that he's in good hands and he's in the right spot, but yeah, he's got a bit of a road ahead.
Overwhelming amount of support. It's been nice to see the community wrap its arms around him, and yeah, we at ABC Sports certainly wish Tony Modra, his family and his friends all the best over the next few months in his recovery. There's a bit of injury concern here in Showdown 60 as we get ready for the second quarter. Isaac Rankin came off with an ankle concern. What's the latest, Braden?
Yeah, it's an intriguing one. So strapped up the knee. The quarter-time huddle, he didn't join the huddle. He did run-throughs. Clearly wasn't quite right, though. He's gone back to the bench. He's now getting the ankle strapped as well, like you mentioned, Jamo, that appeared to be ankle. He's had a long chat with the coaching director, Murray Davis. Nathan Van Berlo's been there as well, so I imagine they're going to strap this up, give him another try and see if he's able to go back out there. But it is a really interesting one, losing early Rankin. If they lose him early, how much of an impact they could have on the contest.
I think you weigh this one up as a coach. Like, if the player's not sure, certainly at this point of the year for the Crows, finals coming, and the wins that they've banked in the last couple of months, you wouldn't risk him as much as it's a showdown. I don't think it's worth the risk if he's not feeling right in himself.
Adelaide by 4, second quarter underway on ABC Sport. McAndrew down to Saligo, and the fend off on Horn Francis. Kicks off balance around the body up towards the 50, and backtracking again is Josh Lai.
5 marks already.
What a night.
How good. And that is Adelaide's first centre clearance for the night.
So Lai will send it up towards the broadcast wing. 4-on-4 awaits there. McAndrew well held, and in the pack, Whitlock nearly plucked it. Just hits the deck. Couple of tackles laid and held up. Quickly, Jamo Loz, what was the story of the first quarter?
I think Port Adelaide did a great job of controlling the ball, but Adelaide electric on turnover and off free kicks, so scored fast. Port's method is strong, control the footy as much as possible, but the Crows just look lightning when they win it.
And reinforced by 7 centre clearances, 9 stoppage clearances around the ground, so 16-4 in that first quarter, all Port Adelaide around the source.
Certainly where you can get the Crows. They would have talked about that during the week in their planning meeting. Some shots of Rankin putting his socks back on. So Lockie Jones wins a lasso free kick at left half back, goes long down the line. Whitlock launched and marked.
Coming up at the footy very strongly already tonight, a positive sign for a young player.
What about taking the wrist inboard? Plays it safe up towards left half forward. Visentini knocked away there by Michael, and he rode by Butters, winds to dirt, and he just ran into a brick wall that is named Sam Berry. We'll have a ball up 40 from home, left half forward for the Power.
19 tackles in round 8. He's got 3 so far tonight. Tap down, Zach Butters. Gee, burst through. Just didn't get enough contact, the belly of the ball, as it fell towards the goal line. Mitch Georgiades outmarked by James Borlase.
Just so much class, and Isaac Cumming was supposed to go with him, and he just gave him a nudge, and got the space he needed.
Adelaide by 4 points. Second quarter showdown 60. Long kick from ball ace. And Curvis got in front, couldn't pluck it. Knocked down. Peatling gets it to Dawson, then Neil Bullen. Up towards the logo. One-on-one there. Phil Thorpe out muscles Aaliyah. Has to turn. And has a 1v1 in the 50. Tries to place it to the advantage of Rochelle, who lost his feet, just slipping in the late night dew. It's a bit cold out on the Adelaide Oval, but hasn't rained today. Lai picks it up, tries to curl it around Rochelle and kicks straight towards the boundary line. Out on the full, free kick Adelaide. And Neil Bullen has no one on the mark. He'll step in here, try to set it up at the top of the goal square for the Crows. Phil Thorpe flies, couldn't reel it in. Picked up by Lukosius. Errant handball, just trying to get some territory. Richards fumbles. Lockie Jones comes through and leaves it behind. Berry for the Crows can't gather. Putting his head over at his Taylor, but the ball's ripped away from him by Drew. Port Adelaide in the left back pocket. Zerk Thatcher will break the ankles of Rochelle and exit out towards the broadcast wing.
Sitting under it is Worrell. He does the intercept game so well this last week through illness. So from right half forward, he just goes back to the logo where Laird is. Further afield to Peatling. And Worrell's going to grab this one and get it onto his left boot. Pops it up into a dangerous position. Flying at that one, though, is Lukosius. Sliding back. Marks in front of Curtin, the two wingmen.
Super critical of how Adelaide are going into their forward 50 first quarter, this quarter. It's just poor. They're getting enough football to have a crack, and this is what they need to do. Lace out, Fogarty coming forward.
Yeah, so a poor kick from Lukosius. Kicked it straight to Dawson, the last person you'd literally want to kick it to. And he delivers to Fogarty on the chest, who marks left half forward, 45-degree angle, 40 out. Here's a beautiful kick of the footy. We know Darcy Fogarty, one of the best in the game, and efficient as well. Already has one of the night. Comes in 45 out, he unloads, and the goal umpire hardly moved. Darcy Fogarty gets his second and gets the first of the second term. Adelaide extend their lead to 10 points. They're 5-2-32. Port 3-4-22. Took us 4 minutes into this second term.
This is the trend we were worried about, Loz, I think, too. Now only minutes into, as you've highlighted, Tom, in the second quarter, 5-1 inside 50s. They're getting it in there deep, yes, but they're poor entries. But the pressure already with Port Adelaide trying to get out maybe 3 occasions, have turned it over on all 3 occasions.
Well, you'd make an assumption that the message for the Crows defensively, they did a lot right, but I think their ability to get out and defend width early wasn't as well done as they would have liked in that first quarter, and I think Dawson set the standard there. We can see Lukosius trying to go the long switch. Dawson easy intercept mark and straight back in.
Crows by 10. Braden Ingram downstairs.
With his right knee and right ankle strapped up, Isaac Rankin is back at his centre bounce.
Big news for Crows fans. Both rucks fly in the middle, but neither can get the tap. And pouncing is Zach Butters. Kicks towards the 50. Getting in front again. James Borlase.
How good a season is he having? He's
going to keep Jordan Butts out of this team, and he's going to have a pretty good couple of offers coming his way from the Victorian clubs in the hunt. Kicks up to the eastern side. Saligo caught behind Evans. Foot race is on now through the logo. Getting there first was Evans, and Saligo tries to wrap him up, but does force him over the boundary line.
Surely if you're Port Adelaide, you're chatting to Borlase's manager as well. His father played for the Port Magpies. He's a local boy. You wouldn't be letting him go anywhere if he's going to leave the Crows. Surely he stays in town.
Fourth amongst defenders for spoils per game. Felt like at the start of the year he was headed towards delisting, and he's turned it right around. Tossed in the tap down. Dawson tackled by Butters. Ball bobbles out and just flirts with the boundary line. Stays in. Lukosius waited for it and is met for his troubles by Dan Curtin. Or boundary throw-in, rather, near the Williams stand. Adelaide by 10 at the moment. Sounds like the Dogs and the Roos are the main suitors for Borlase. Let's see if the Crows can keep him. Tossed in, McAndrew down, bounces straight towards Curtin, who steps through a couple and gets it back to McAndrew, up towards the 50, shallow drop for Thilthorpe, beautiful read on the bounce, gathers and curls it from outside 50, this one wasn't so kind, a high one to Fogarty, but it lingered for Jones, Rochelle was lurking, tackled, ball shoots out, Neil Bullen to Taylor, can't get through two, Jeez, hit hard, Lockie Jones spears him in the second tackle and brings him to ground for the holding the ball free kick.
Sorry, I burst onto the I've done my microphone then. Lockie Jones, the poor bounce. He was eating it.
Yeah. They had 3 on none, and then the bounce favoured the Crows. A big fly out of side. Horn Francis couldn't complete the mark. Rankin handballed it straight to Butters, who goes to Bammett, out towards Drew, made him work for it, but had time to get it onto his left foot. It's a high ball. Butters, well, he was the smallest bloke there. Not that saying that Zach Taylor's tall, but takes a nice mark. Inboard to Horne-Francis. Near the centre circle. Gets a handball away to Evans. That's a good kick to Georgiades. He's got runners. Burne-Jones, he's got Lukosius a little bit wider as well. A little too far out to score, but he uses it so well. Kicks inside the forward 50 for Vicentini. Roving was Whitlock, tackled at the right time. Socket off the deck out of nowhere. That was from outside the penalty box. Corey Durden. Oh, I haven't seen a kick fly into the back fence like that for a long time. Something from nothing. And Port keep their nose in it. 4-4-28. Adelaide 5-2, 32. 8 gone second term.
Well called, Tom. That was that flew, didn't it, from Corey Durden? There's no doubt he's been watching a little bit of World Cup, and I'd be expecting too that the soccer ball's been out during the warm-ups in the training week, but a nice, dangerous ball inside 50 from Lukosius. Darcy Burne-Jones was trying to scramble out of the way of that right leg. And a good contest from Vicentini to bring the ball to ground, and Durden just doing the job that he's out there for. Small forward. Once the ball hits the deck, it's up to you, mate, and what a goal.
That's the leverage that the Socceroos were unable to get against Paraguay, wasn't it? They had their chances, but they just couldn't give it the boot that Durden did.
It's one of my favourite round ball terms is top bins, and he's done that. Top corner, out of the middle, tap down to Dawson. Adelaide look to respond. Here's Rankin, fresh off the injury, kicks towards the 50, spoiled away by Neil Bullen and tackled by Logan Evans. Ware wins it for Port Adelaide, gets it back to Mead, then Burne-Jones, the handball chain now. Evans to Butters, then Richards, turns through the Logo broadcast side, kicks to left half forward. Vicentini just gets it. Bobbled out of his chest, and he dove forward to reel it in close to the boundary line. He's at left half forward, wants to centre the kick. Good vision. Meads floated forward, takes it right on the paint of 50.
That's hurt Neil Bullen's right elbow too. That contact.
Tried to cut it off and getting some contact in the end. Mead decides to place it. 25 outs. Getting in front was McAndrew. Couldn't hold it. Dawson threw the fist as well. Head over the footy. Sweet couldn't win it. Richards, though, gets it for Port Adelaide. Back out to Bammett. Now Mead. Tackled by Neil Bullen. 40 out. Ball up to come inside 50 for the Power. They're down down 4 rather, after a goal aside in this second quarter. Quick reset. Tap down. Running by Mitch Georgiades. Couldn't gather. Isaac Cumming can, and he clears it to the broadcast side.
High ball, one-on-one. Tex and Aaliyah at the back. Burne-Jones diving on it. Taylor Walker holds it in. Now Burne-Jones is at the bottom of the pack. Fell out to Neil Bullen, flicked it to Peatling, to Taylor, back to Peatling. Quick kick forward. The advantage of Lockie Jones, who's shot the sitter. Oh. So he goes out of bounds right half forward for Adelaide. This looks like Aaliyah can't get his shoe on, potentially.
I think he may have, rolled an ankle a little bit too, just in that contest.
Yeah, stood on Peatling's boot. Rolled his left ankle, but is returning to full back on Taylor Walker. Boundary throw in. Sweet knocks it down towards Keys, who's wrapped up immediately by Jace Burgoyne. Right half forward for Adelaide.
Isaac Rankin out the back here.
Leading by 4 points. Sweet took it out of the ruck. McAndrew took him in the 7:20. But it's not automatic holding the ball anymore. So we'll have it all again. 50 from home for the Crows.
3 lead changes. The margin is 4 Adelaide's way. McAndrew takes it out of the ruck, shoots the handball into the 50. Burne-Jones was waiting. It's tackled by Berry. Quick reset. Sweet tangled with McAndrew. Neither ruck get a clean tap. Richards tried to get there. Berry gets it first. Hands it to Dawson, who fends off Joe Richards. Arcs around on the left. 55 out. Kicks towards the pocket. Saligo caught behind, but Jones couldn't cut it off cleanly. Saligo picks it up. Gave it to Walker. 2 to beat. Running out of room in the phone box. He's pulled over the boundary line. It should have been pinged. He's been saved.
He's laughing.
Wow. If that's not prior, I'm not sure what is.
Boundary has literally saved him. He'll be tossed in 20 out. Left forward pocket. Sweet gets the tap down to Burne-Jones, and he hacks it out of there. Sitting back was Curtin. Couldn't reel it in with the fingertips. Vicentini did well. Gets it out towards Evans. Whitlock to Bannett. Empty 50 though. He just has to go for acreage. It's open real estate. Who's going to get there first? Max Michaelani tracks it well. Mitch Georgiades was breathing down his neck though and impacts the kick. A turnover to Joe Richards, who marks 45 out, places it across. Chase Burgoyne takes it. And there is a melee in back lane. It is on at the top of the goal square.
One of the Crows defenders has thrown one into Georgiades' chin.
Chase Burgoyne gets marched to the top of the goal square, takes the 50, and once again, the showdown has erupted.
I think you'll find Georgiades has gone to the Adelaide player and really ripped into him while he was right on the ground. And then Adelaide have come in and retaliated and ended up losing the footy.
Guess what? It's the wild thing, Josh Worrell.
Yep.
He's got stuck in. And as a result, Port Adelaide's back in front. 5-4-34. Adelaide 5-2-32. 12 played second term on ABC Sport.
Yeah.
So Michaelani was the one who, made the error.
And then Worrell's gone back to say and have a go at him, and then that's how it's got going again.
From a football perspective, Georgiades is the tall forward. Incredible chase down to apply the pressure and cause the turnover in the first place. And then the little jumper punch to the chin from Michaelani, it could cause him some issues during the week.
Yeah, Bannett kicked to space and Georgiades didn't give up. Huge defensive effort from a star forward. Back in the middle of the ground, Porter in front by 2 points. Quick kick forward. Hunting was Horne-Francis. Causes a contest. Clean handball too high, says the umpire. Well, he was hunting. Just got Rory Laird too high. What a great showdown 60 we have. High quality stuff. Big tackles. High pressure. Up towards centre half forward. Fogarty leapt and took the mark over the top. He'll have a shot 55 out directly in front.
He's having a game, Fogarty. He looks like the most dangerous tall inside 50 so far tonight. He's looking unstoppable in the air.
Had a free run at it. Oh, he's almost back in the centre circle, Jamo.
I was just watching the man on the mark. He's actually taken 2 steps forward and the umpire's allowed him to do so.
So it'll take a kick of 55. We know he's got the journey. You can hear the fans cheering early, but it's bent back! Just like the Jordan Dawson one in reverse. And Fogarty's got 3. He's set this showdown alight. And Mr. Darcy puts Adelaide back in front. They're 6-2-38, Port 5-4-34, halfway through this second term.
What's the lesson there? That you never go early? The Bronx cheers and it ended up being a goal.
It just held in the air. It's nice little float late for Fogarty, and yeah, as I said before, he started the game really well.
I think the one good thing that you're able to do now, Logan Evans has to stand, so he can then go to the right and almost kick alongside of him as opposed to behind him. So you can actually gain probably 3 or 4, maybe half a dozen feet doing it that way.
5 lead changes. It has been a cracking contest. Second term on ABC Sport of Showdown 60. Adelaide back in front. Tap down. On ball is Jackson Mead as he bullets the pass. A little low tumbler towards Whitlock. Ricocheted off him, but Berry got it back. Whitlock goes for home. It clears the pack at the goal square, but rolls left and through for a minor score. Adelaide by 3. Been non-stop tonight. Haven't had a chance to read some of your texts, but a huge shout out to Eugene in Port Adelaide and Brett in Canberra who are enjoying the call. Jen from Euroa is wondering where Sam Palpepper's at. He played in the Sandful today. 5 touches on limited minutes. Jan?
First game back. Good to see him.
Quick kick out of defence. Right half back for Adelaide. Michaelani under pressure to Curtin, who rode the bump. Got away in time. Paul Kahan back to Laird, who's met with a solid bump by Durden. Turnover at centre half forward. Horne-Francis almost run down by Neil Bullen. Kicks up towards Georgiades. Brings it to ground. Thought about the soccer. Ball is in dispute for the power. Burgoyne hit with a strong tackle. Play on, says the umpire. We are loving this. Showdown 60 delivering. The cliche living out. It doesn't matter where you are on the ladder.
Inside 50 for the power. Vicentini down. He's looking to get it to Mead. Couple to beat. Peatling wraps him up. Ball up again. 20 from home. Left forward pocket. Robin Greensborough is a bit stiff about Taylor Walker's not holding the ball call a few minutes ago.
Well, you called it. The boundary line really was the only thing that saved him.
Thilthorpe down, fresh area from Richards, so Berry can extract it for the Crows. Kick a little short for Keys. They still win out. Rainkin on the tightrope, gets it down the line. Here's Taylor Walker. Pantomime villain now. Showdown 27, potentially his last. He has the most goals in the history of them. 12 more than Robbie Gray, who won 5 showdown medals. Kick down the line to a pack and off hands over the boundary line. Tonight's also his 311th game, Taylor Walker, so he ties Ben Hart. I feel like he can play on again, Jamo. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess his body's really held up quite well. And he's missed a few games. They've managed him well.
Boundary throw in, Visentini versus Thilthorpe, and Curtin, after it hit the deck, just fisted it forward up towards Rankin. He tried to knock it away towards Horn Francis, who was slung in the tackle by Curtin, ended up with Fogarty. Peatling, Neil Bullen has a short option at right half forward, but centres the ball. Durden working back. It looked like it was going to be a car crash with Rochelle. Two boys have kicked brilliant goals tonight. Great intercept mark. He goes back to Logan Evans.
Navigated that so well. Evans out wide, up to Berry. Marks it right half back. It's Adelaide by 3 in showdown 60. Lauren Arnell, Rod Jamieson, your experts tonight. Short pass to Zerk Thatcher. Now down the line to Lockie Jones. Has a run up. Horn Francis checks the kick up to the attacking edge. Well placed. Mark taken by Durden, who's everywhere. Prolific season as well. He nearly kicked a goal every game. Streak snapped last week against the Pies, but has one tonight. Kicks towards the 50, and Whitlock got it through the needle. Couple of Crows tried to cut it off, and it pierced through to the young man, 50 out.
1v3, Durden slicing the footy through to Whitlock, and I'm a little bit disappointed that none of the Port players have gone to Durden for the pat on the back, not only for the intercept mark in D50, but setting this goal opportunity up for Whitlock.
Had a miss from a set shot in the first quarter at a closer angle. Jack Whitlock now from 50 gets close to the man on the mark, and it will hurt his kick. Falls short, and in front, Thilthorpe gets back. They're playing everywhere tonight. Big Riley Thilthorpe with a short pass to Ball Ace, right back pocket. It's still the Crows by 3, and we played 19 minutes into the second term on ABC Sport.
To full back. Laird, short to Worrell. He's going to play on at left half back. It's a floater up towards Taylor Walker and Aliir. Aliir gets a big fist in there. Burgoyne tried to gather the foot. He did well to Berry. Rolls around on the non-preferred right. Flying over the back was Sweet. At the back is Visentini. Running into an open goal is Durden. He just does that so well. And he's put Port back in front with his second. There's 6-5-41, Adelaide 6-2-38. 20 gone second term, Braden Ingram.
I think at the start of the game there was a fair bit of trepidation from the Power supporters. They were pretty quiet. They have found their voice now as their team starts to lift and could give them a lift into this second half.
We'll get you to keep an eye out on Josh Worrell as well, Braden, who caught the knee in the back in that contest that set up Corey Durden. Very proppy and on his haunches in front of the scoreboard.
Corey Durden, he's having a hot streak, guys. He's had the 4 disposals in this quarter, massive involvement in the last 2 minutes of play, and Hawker Hahn's his direct opponent. He's only had the 1 touch so far in this second quarter, and that's all you can ask for from a small forward. He's getting the job done in front of goal, keeping Port Adelaide. Now they're in front. Exceptional patch of play from him.
Here we go again, straight out of the middle. The tap was towards Butters, who blazed away, but it's coming back. Still Port's ball.
Not sure why that's not advantage.
Should have been, considering they had the quick entry, and now Adelaide get the chance to set up.
Did he run? He ran into the umpire, was it? Which is why Port Adelaide will win the footy back.
Matt Stevic, the man who called it back, is an absolute vet. Butters does the same thing essentially again. A helicopter wobbler towards the 50. Awkward bounce as Nankervis committed to try and trap it. Horn Francis on hands and knees. Gets the handball out to Joe Berry. Dumps that from 45. Very good from Joe. Port by 9. 7-5-47. Adelaide 6-2-38. Time on second term on ABC Sport.
What a sweet kick. He absolutely laced that.
He just keeps getting better with every game he plays, Joe Berry. But Port Adelaide, just the simple model of footy. Play direct, play fast, and really clean at ground level. They're showing up in numbers. I saw during the week they were identifying that the Crows are a contest outnumber team and their work rate's going to be important. And this second quarter, they've been incredible, Port Adelaide. It's such a positive start to this showdown and really challenging the Crows now.
Jordan Sweet, 12 hit-outs to 3, so all over Lockie McAndrew too, but tonight was too. It's probably as clean as I've seen Port Adelaide kick the football.
Sweet knocks it down again towards Wines, and we'll have a ball up. It's a quick one on Zach Butters. Kicking a torp out the middle. Thoughts? I don't know about that.
Chaos.
We used to do it all the time. You know, you kick them all day. If it doesn't work, you put it away. So did it work?
Well, I guess.
Semi-work.
Outcome based. Yeah. So Dawson kicks up from the clearance towards Walker. He's kicked some goals from that spot at left half forward up towards Fogarty. He can do no wrong. Catches it at the high point. In the left forward pocket, he'll have a shot from 40 out up against the paint of the boundary.
Playing as well as anyone else on the ground
Just
in this
clean.
first half, Darcy Fogarty.
Isn't he? Just in the contest as well, running and crashing a pack.
He's given up the golf.
No, he still plays on a Wednesday.
He's back out there, is he? He said he'd wait and make sure he's playing well. Jamo's given us a scoop there. And he's probably hit it out of bounds, Jamo.
I didn't play last Wednesday.
Dropped him in.
He was on the record, Jamo, is that he'd wait till he was back in form, but seems like he's enjoying his time at Glenelg Golf Course. That was out on the full in the meantime.
I did make that up.
Bring it back. That's your Chad Corns moment, Jamo.
Gee, they're going to go end-to-end here, so Butters gets the handball, gives it off. Zato got it towards Mead, up to right half forward, and in the contest, an arm over the shoulder on Worrell, who's just copping it the last 10 minutes. Again, rises very gingerly. The free kick to go his way, left half back.
Oh, yeah.
Short pass wide to Laird.
You can see why they've picked Bammett and Zato in this forward line, Port Adelaide tonight, forcing the contest.
Uses Berry through defensive 50. The switch was on. Right back pocket, James Borlace. It's Port by 9. Adelaide were up by 10 at the start of this quarter, which is the game high margin. Port's kicked 4 of the last 5. Down the line, beats everybody at the back. Dawson hands it towards Keys. Through traffic, tried to lean it forward to Neil Bull, and Ali was coming the other way very aggressively and wins the hard ball. Got it to Burn Jones, tried to hand it to Berry. Couple of bodies to work through though. Ricochets around like a pinball. Ben Keys is the one who gets it up towards the 50. Backtracking Zerk Thatcher. Gets the intercept for Port Adelaide. Up by 9 and have it in defensive 50. 4 to go, second term.
First game of the year for Zerk Thatcher, certainly holding his own, no doubt about that. Kicks down the line. Jones was fresh off the bench, but a goal kicker, Berry marks. So defensive side of centre wing, members side of the ground. 25 gone in the second term. Port lead by 9. Goes to Horn Francis. Bounces the footy about 25 metres. In the prison bars, Port have come to play. Up towards left half forward, Sweet in front. Is going to be tackled over the boundary line by Laird. Was given plenty of time to get rid of it. Play on, says the umpire. Then Saligo gets the footy and Lakosha smashed him into the deck. Well, I'm not sure it was high. It could have been a dump tackle, but it wasn't high. Saligo with the free at right half back for Adelaide.
He approached the contest with enough pace and his head down that he probably just drew it. Umpire's fallen victim there. Kicked down the line, though, was a bit of footy karma as he has it straight back to Zerk Thatcher. True centre wing, right in front of the benches. Port by 9. Zerk Thatcher up to left half forward. Dawson floats across in front of Sweet. Got an arm over the shoulder and a very late whistle will go his way. Port had a couple of chances there and finally it was paid. Worrell just breaks away as a result. Kicks up towards the centre corridor. Taylor Walker gets low enough. Slips catch as he pops up. Drills it down the line to Rankin. Heavy knee strapping on the right after a scare earlier. Gives it off to the run of Dawson. The skipper, my goodness, a monster kick all the way from the centre square. Getting it to Phil Thorpe, who was held.
No, the other way. Alia's free.
It is Alia's free kick. Right back pocket. Should have known from the crowd time. So Alia in front of the Riverbank stands has the ball for Port Adelaide. They look to move it out of defensive 50.
Kicks up towards right half back. First touch was Georgiades, but Borlase roved it off to Keys to Neil Bullen, who goes the banana Daniel Motlop style to the top of the goal square. Phil Thorpe brings it to ground. He's wrapped up by 2 power players running back towards goal. Ware gets a quick kick away. Relief for the moment. Working hard back in the opposite direction. There is Borlase still inside the Crows 50. Butters is working hard, wins the turnover. Quick kick forward to space. Crows have the numbers for the time being, but Drew read it best. Dropped the footy at the wrong time. Peatling goes to ground. The umpire says no free kick. We'll have a ball up true centre wing on the logo.
Bit of Houdini in that one for Port Adelaide. It looks like a likely goal on re-entry for the Crows.
Tossed up, taken out of the ruck by Sweet. Kicks up towards half forward. Trying to track it is Zano, and he crunches in towards Berry. They both pop up okay. A lot of momentum there. Very lucky. Lukosha sends it in. Whitlock 2 to beat. Ball shoots out the back. Berry kept following. Gathers. Tight angle. And misses to the right.
Push. It's a push.
Oh, it'll come back.
Just pushed as he kicked him.
That's a costly one for the Crows. Rory Laird trying to plead his case, but Andrew Heffernan's having none of it. Joe Berry gets a second chance.
Another man who's absolutely having a quarter here. Joe Berry. Full tilt, clean as you like.
Got a reprieve too. He had Joe Richards in the square for a handball.
He did.
Joe Berry opens the angle and this time makes it count. 2 for young Joe in his third showdown. Port Adelaide by 15, and they've kicked 5 of the last 6 goals. 8-5-53 plays 6-2-38. 28 gone, second term on ABC Sport with Lauren Arnell and Rod Jamison.
Jamo, this next centre ball up becomes so important, doesn't it? Because it just felt like at quarter time that maybe the Crows were quicker with their ball use than Port Adelaide, but it's the reverse in this second quarter. Port Adelaide are flying and the Crows don't look like they can keep up defensively.
I think they need to slow down, actually, Adelaide too. They've, in the back half, the communication's a little bit poor. They're waiting for the other person to take the mark or spoil, so initiative is then given to Port Adelaide. How quickly Port Adelaide are moving the football, and then the wrong options when Adelaide go forward.
Power leading by 15 points. They've kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of Showdown 60. In a big term. 2 for Durden, 2 for Berry. The small forwards at play. Sweet takes it out of the ruck. Another opportunity inside forward 50. And if you play in front, you give yourself the best chance. Mitch Georgiades, he marks 40 out directly in front.
He's a big brute. And he's going back a very long way. Tonight he's kicked the 2 in the first. He could have had 3. He's got all the distance. Be a nice one with 25 seconds remaining in this second quarter and first half.
This is a huge moment, Jamo. The clearance from Sweet, who's dominating in the ruck. And their sharp shooter at times, Mitch Georgiades. We know it's straight. It's not going to get the journey. Burgoyne Rose in the goal square. Ball in dispute's been socked through by the Crows. Rush behind. But Georgiades couldn't make the distance. Would have brought the house down here at Adelaide Oval. They go to 8-6-54. Adelaide 6-2-38.
Mark Keane plays on. Hands it to Worrell, and that'll do us for a half of footy in Showdown 60. What did I tell you? They always deliver. It's never a matter of the form lines. It's all about the rivalry. It is Port by 16 at the major break. 8-6-54 plays 6-2-38. What a contest we've had so far tonight. Sold out crowd. Port Adelaide home game. They're loving what they're seeing here tonight. Great to have you with us for it. 0437 774 774. Got a texter who's not happy about the push in the back. Free kicks that haven't been paid through the night. So a lot of body work we've seen on the wings. Also a shout out to Phil in Victoria, who says Tom Wilson has a contagious decibel tone, and I love it. There you go, Tommy. Got a big fan on the text line, and he's asking about Radagalia's injury and if it's career-ending. It isn't, but a ruptured patella is pretty significant. It's about a year out, and unfortunately for Asava, he's had a few issues over the last couple of campaigns, but hasn't missed as much footy as Jack Lukosha. So Radagalia's played 44 of a possible 63. Jack Lukosha's tonight is just his 13th game in 2 years. So it's a shame for Asava, but I'd back him in to be able to recover from it.
Yeah, we caught up with him during the week at the airport on his return. He couldn't even stand. He was in the wheelchair. Talked about, how it's going to be a long road ahead. How he's just going to have to get into the mental space, and how frustrating it has been for him, considering how well he was playing. His intercept work has just been phenomenal this year, and it's remarkable because he's such a big body and he's so athletic. He's actually only 27. It feels like he's because he's played footy pretty much straight away as soon as he got in, but was new to the game when he was at the Cats. So still got so much of his career ahead of him, and we know it's a long road ahead, and he'll be back ready to go when he can. Such
a ripping fella as well, the big Fijian. So we wish him the best, but I reckon Phil he'll be okay, but it's going to be a long layoff. Rod Jamieson, Lauren Arnell, your experts tonight to break down a cracking first half in Showdown 60. What did we learn, crew?
Well, we learned that Port Adelaide are up for the fight. That's what we did learn. So they were able to start extremely well in that first quarter. Adelaide managed to arm wrestle it back, and then early in this second quarter, Adelaide, I thought, were going to get right on top. They kicked a couple, but then Port Adelaide, to their credit, they kicked 5-2 and really got going and kicked the footy hard and low and fast and opportunistic up forward too. Adelaide a little indecisive at times and then couldn't go back the other way and use it as well as what they could, but they were able to get the clearances in favour. It was 10-7 in that quarter in favour of Adelaide, so at least they were starting to get their hands on the footy. Jordan Sweet is having a night. He's getting his hand on it, and the clearance work that he continually does. Zach Butters had another good second quarter. Josh Rochelle, Braden Cook did not touch the football in that second quarter, Loz.
Yeah, and I think the wing stuff I think has been it's obviously outside the contest, and inside the contest and centre clearance Port Adelaide are 10-3, but I like what Port have done on the wings tonight. They've moved Jacob Ware to half back. Lukosius is having an impact certainly offensively on a wing, and Curtin's been quiet. Braden Cook without the footy is not overly helpful to this team. His weapon is with the ball, and I think Willem Drew spending big chunks of time in this game on a wing. The possessions won't really show the impact that he's having, but his ability to cover ground and shape the stoppage is really important. Jamo, I'm looking forward to the second half and just watching centre clearance a little bit more closely, because every time I've looked up at centre clearance, Port is setting what we'd call a defensive triangle. So instead of having a player at the front or the forward side of centre clearance, centre ball up, it's hard because I keep thinking centre bounce. They're kind of shaping, and I think it's intimidating the Crows, and it opens up the front side of the stoppage for Port. So if McAndrew hits forward, they can sort of shape there. They've already got three players in front. But then if Sweet wins the hit out, which he's winning a lot of, they can burst through if they like as well, and you've got the Crows on the back foot either way. So I think that's working for them. Stuart Dew's an absolute mastermind of stoppage as the midfield coach, and I'm interested in what the Crows do to change that up a little bit, because Port's shape around stoppage in particular is really benefiting them.
And it's reflecting too in that second quarter. Jordan Dawson had 8 and Berry the 7, but it's Worrell, Borlase, Laird, Peatling, all the defenders are actually the ones that are heading a lot of the football at the moment. So it's a worry, and it has been Adelaide's probably Achilles for most of the year and more in recent time too. They just cannot win the football when they need to, or to start with it, and straight away you're on the back foot.
I think if you're a Port fan and you're in the stands or you're watching on telly or driving along in the car, you need to know that they've been so brave with the footy, and I think that's the only way to win this game tonight. They have to shift the Crows' defence, force them onto the back foot, and take away the long down the line kicks. We know that the Crows love to go long down the line to their tools and then play really fast off that and get you almost on a basketball fast break, or a Nestri and Kunde out the back. But Port Adelaide, by controlling the ball in the way that they have, particularly in this first half, they've just taken away the way the Crows like to play. The question now becomes, can they do it for a whole other half of footy?
So Sweet, 22 hit-outs to Andrew, 10. Sweet, 9 to advantage. Then you go clearances, 7. Butters, 5. Horn Francis, 4. Sweet. They're actually getting their hand on it, and then they're using it really well. First possession, the same story, Butters and Jason Horn Francis. So I think from an Adelaide perspective, there's a lot to do better than what they've showed. I think they've panicked a little bit when they've actually haven't got the footy, and also times when the contest is coming, and get away from the body on body down in the forward line. Again, come forward, push off, create, and then lead up. And every time Adelaide has done that, they've been managed to do that. But I think the Corey Durden example, going down with the football, when you've got player at speed you called it. You said, I thought that was going to be a car crash. But that's what Port Adelaide are playing like tonight.
It's not to sound punny or anything or make a joke of it, but this is Josh Carr football, is the car crash, bash and crash, pressure.
He was never that fast.
But it's high octane, and they've unravelled teams with it through the year. And tonight is very emblematic of how Port Adelaide has played. The average age is 24 tonight. They've got 8 players who have played 3 showdowns or less and have never won one, and yet they still are up for the fight against some of the better teams. So even though the year's probably not going to go to plan in terms of the overall record, they've put up some good efforts, and tonight's going to be one of those. We'll see if they can hold on in the second half. They're up by 16 points at the major break. We'll bring the latest of the Socceroos news for you after Lauren Arnell's little shout-out to Nestaria and Kunda there. We know who they're playing on next Saturday. It will be Egypt. We'll let you know how that happened today and what happened in the earlier games as well between Carlton and West Coast and Collingwood and Richmond very shortly. But for now on ABC Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital, we can get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. People living in the Venezuelan state of La Guaira, north of the capital Caracas, are pleading for heavy machinery to move collapsed structures to free trapped people, following the powerful twin earthquakes 2 days ago that have killed at least 1,000 people. Larry Buttrose reports.
La Guaira is one of the worst-hit regions, and the government has restricted access to it to allow first responders to travel in and out. It comes as rescue crews and families race against time to free trapped people. Like many, this woman has a number of relatives trapped.
My brother, my sister-in-law, my niece, my nephew and friends are in there.
Acting President Delcy Rodriguez says her government is mounting a full response during these critical hours for rescuing people alive. But with tens of thousands listed as missing on independent digital databases, the death toll is expected to rise.
Energy Minister Chris Bowen says the federal government is focused on protecting Australia's fuel security as the US and Iran trade fresh military strikes. Political reporter Lexi Junowick has the details.
Mr Bowen has confirmed during his weekly update on Australia's fuel stocks that the nation has 44 days' worth of petrol, 37 of diesel and 29 of jet fuel in reserve. Responding to strikes traded between the United States and Iran amid a fragile ceasefire, the Energy Minister has called for all sides to see the dispute resolved.
We just need to remain focused on our own task and ensuring our own fuel security during this international uncertainty.
Mr Bowen says there are no plans to extend the cut to the fuel excise beyond August, with the government to begin winding back the discount from July 1st.
Energex says copper thieves caused major power outages across southeast Queensland overnight. At its peak, around 12,000 customers in suburbs including Boronia Heights, Hillcrest and Regents Park were affected by the outage, which is caused by a fire that resulted from an attempted copper theft at the Browns Plains substation south of Brisbane early this morning. Kev Lavender from Energex says it's selfish behaviour.
Anyone who's been involved in going through a live 11,000 volt cable could have serious injuries and could have resulted in a fatality. So it's something what we're passionate about on our network. So safety of the network, safety of the public.
A 15-year-old boy has faced a Melbourne court charged over an alleged abduction of a schoolgirl in the city's southeast. Andy Yu has more.
A 17-year-old girl was allegedly forced into a car as she walked into a high school at about 8:30 yesterday morning. Police arrested a teenage boy several hours later and charged him with abduction. The girl was taken to hospital. In a children's court hearing in Melbourne late today, the accused did not apply for bail. His lawyer requested he be assessed for a shoulder injury and for mental health. The matter was adjourned to July the 6th.
The Democratic Republic of Congo has filed a case against Rwanda in the International Court of Justice, accusing its neighbour of breaching multiple international treaties. In a statement, it says Rwanda dispatched forces and backed armed groups to carry out unlawful military operations on its territory following the 1994 Rwandan genocide. The Congolese Justice Minister says his country is seeking accountability for alleged breaches of conventions covering genocide prevention, racial discrimination, women's rights and torture. Rwanda has not yet responded, but it's long dismissed evidence that it backs rebel groups in the country. In sport, Socceroos goalkeeper Patrick Beach says his approach hasn't changed despite his starring role in Australia's World Cup campaign. The 22-year-old has started in goal for all three of Australia's group games, helping the side to secure a place in the knockout stages of the tournament. Beach says it means a lot to have the confidence of the coaching staff.
I think that's the only the opinion that really matters to me is the staff. They're the ones that pick the players that they think will do the job, and like I said, I'm really grateful that they have that belief in me to go out there and do a job for the team.
And when people tune in to next year's Eurovision Song Contest, they could see a new country competing. Canada has become eligible to take part after CBC Radio Canada became a full member of the European Broadcasting Union. Prime Minister Mark Carney, who's been seeking closer political and economic ties with Europe since taking office, raised the idea last year of Canada joining the song contest.
Budging on the blind side.
Nick Faldo. Was he a great niggler or was he a dirty grub? He blew up the Sharks' mind.
Roy and HG.
Got into his head, set the explosives, and walked away and enjoyed the result.
Roy and HG on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Here's a beautiful kick of the footy. We know Darcy Fogarty comes in 45 out. He unloads and the goal umpire hardly moved. Kicks inside the forward 50 for Vicentini. Roving was Whitlock. Tackled at the right time. Socket off the deck out of nowhere. That was from outside the penalty box. Corey Durden.
Jace Burgoyne gets marched to the top of the goal square, takes the 50, and once again, the showdown has erupted.
Up towards centre-half forward, Fogarty leapt and took the mark over the top. So it'll take a kick at 55. We know he's got the journey. You can hear the fans cheering early, but it's bent back! Just like the Jordan Dawson one in reverse. Burgoyne tried to gather the footy, did well to Berry. Rolls around on the non-preferred right, flying over the back was Sweet. At the back is Vicentini. Running into an open goal is Durden.
Horn Francis on hands and knees. Gets the handball out to Joe Berry. Dumps that from 45. Joe Berry opens the angle and this time makes it count. 2 for young Joe in his third showdown. Port Adelaide by 15 and they've kicked 5 of the last 6 goals.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Oh boy, the showdown's delivering again. Showdown 60 has Port Adelaide up by 16 points, despite the fact the ladder positions are about 10 apart. Port Adelaide 8-6, 54. Adelaide 6-2, 38. It was the Crows by 4 at the first change. Little injury scare for Isaac Rankin, but he's okay. Same with Jack Lukosius. And Port now by 16 at the major break. It's been a pretty prolific night for some of the stars. Butters with 20 touches, Horn Francis with 15, Dawson with 14, Laird with 14, Fogarty's kicked 3 goals, Mitch Georgiades, Joe Berry and Corey Durden with 2 each as well. Aaron Bryan's calling the action for you alongside Tom Wilson, Rod Jamieson and Lauren Arnell, your experts tonight, premiership players. Earlier today, Carlton defeated West Coast by 53 points at the Docklands, so they won 1 game of their first 9, and now that Josh Frazier is in charge, they've won 6 on the trot. The Blues, for a little short period of time there, were in the top 10, but gee, they're close to finals footy again. Harry Mackay with 3 goals, as was Taylor Byrne, and Patrick Cripps with the 3 votes in the ABC Sport Footballer of the Year with 31 touches and a goal. And Cooper Duff-Tytler, a calf injury for the Eagles. Middle game at the MCG saw Collingwood leapfrog Carlton back into the 10. They defeated Richmond by 34 points. Scores were level at the first change, but the Pies kicked 6 goals to 1 in the second term and then raced away from it after that. Nick Dacos, 37 touches and 3 goals. Another big night for the Maestro as he eyes off potentially his first Brownlow medal. And Lockie Schultz had 4 goals as well against the Tigers, with Collingwood winning by 34 points. Now, the Socceroos know who they're playing in Dallas on Saturday morning. It's a 4 a.m. Eastern start. They're going to have Egypt. So what ended up happening in Group G today was that Egypt and Iran drew, but it got very close to Iran upsetting them. We had essentially a very late would have been a winner for Iran essentially, but it was deemed to be offside. There was basically a third of a foot on VAR that cost Iran the chance to finish up top. And as a result of the draw now, they're kind of waiting for other results, sitting in third. Egypt's in second because Belgium defeated New Zealand 5-1. So Belgium top of Group G, Egypt in second, we get them. And a little bit of injury news there as well. Mo Salah had some ice on the hamstring at the end of their game, so we potentially might get Egypt without their best player come next Saturday. It's a 7-day break though, so we'll see if he can get up.
That's wild.
Yeah, be huge.
Any ice on a hamstring, surely, what a player, but also for Australia's sake, let's hope.
Knockout game next Saturday morning if you can get up for it, 4 a.m. Eastern
Absolutely,
Standard
you
Time.
get up. You get up every time.
Spoken like a man without a toddler.
I've already had 3. Yeah, you'll be
Other crazy news of the day in Group H. So
I'll give Marley a call.
Spain defeated Uruguay 1-0. So Uruguay out. They didn't progress at all. Cabo Verde finishes second in their group.
Cool.
First ever World Cup, and they progressed through to the knockout stage. So massive result for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, huge.
As always, abc.net.au is your home of the World Cup coverage. We've got blogs every single day in terms of who's finishing where, what it all means, and how the Socceroos are tracking. The other news, I think, out of the Roos camp today was that Jacob Italiano and Matty Leckie have headed home, so their injuries have cost them the rest of the tournament.
It's ruthless, isn't it? Like being in camp for that long and then having to go home from a World Cup.
Why would they have to go home, do you think?
Yeah,
What's the rationale for that?
The injuries must be severe enough that...
No, but you're in part of the team.
Around.
Yeah, like support.
Maybe you can get better medical at home, I don't know. USA costs you a fair bit if you want to go to the hospital, Jamo.
Dink and join over it is over there.
A couple of texts coming through as well, 0437 774 774. So Steve says, can we please stop referring to the port jumper as prison bars? The jumper represents the wharf pylons of the heritage. Look, I agree with you, Stephen, but the problem is Port Adelaide markets it as the prison bars, so we're going to stick with it. But huge shout out to what they're wearing tonight. The 1914 Invincible strip. Won 32 straight across 3 years. Champions of Australia.
Looks great. And the socks pulled up. We see Horn Francis always pulls his socks up. The black and white.
The black boots I'm enjoying. Darcy Byrne-Jones, Dante Visentini. It's the black boots with the outfit that does it for me.
Fran says Collingwood lucked out last week. Port Adelaide are a good team and are doing a fighting job tonight. And an unnamed listener says, I don't really know what has come of the Crows, but I grew up in Adelaide and I always by default barracked for them. Quite happy to let Port win tonight, though, for the sake of the city.
Oh, that's unusual, isn't it? Well done.
Yeah, someone take her temperature,
Unnamed.
please.
Port by 16 at the major break. Lauren Unnell, Rod Jamieson. Can they keep it up?
They need to, don't they?
Well, I think it's the youthfulness, too, of a side. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and you touched on there's 8 in the Port team that haven't played in the showdown, and like they're up and they're at it and they're performing very well.
Well, we saw Aaliyah, who may have just tweaked a little ankle earlier in that second quarter. He's now come over to the bench, speaking to the doctor, looking for what seems to be maybe painkillers, and haven't got it in time for him. So he's had to go and reset for the start of this second half. I think it's been an incredible game of footy so far. It's been so enjoyable to watch everything unfold from both teams. And now the question becomes, can Port Adelaide keep the rhythm and the pace of the game above the Crows? And again, they've set the defensive triangle for this first centre ball up, guys.
Stars are all out in the middle again. So Zach Butters opposed to Jordan Dawson. Both don't have a man on them as a result. Horn Francis standing side by side with Saligo, and Sam Berry with Ollie Wines.
The coaches on the wing again. Braden Cook again didn't touch the footy in that second quarter, so he needs to find of it.
And Isaac Rankin, after that ankle issue in the first term, starting forward for the Crows tonight. And there's already a bit of argy-bargy after a few melees in the first half. Here we go. Port by 16, third term.
Another hit out to Jordan Sweet. Perfectly placed for Zach Butters. Goes inside the forward 50. Misses the target of Whitlock. And that'll run out over the boundary line. And Sado's cleaned up Mark King.
Yeah, he's thrown his weight around a little bit too late in that contest, Sado.
I think they're...
it's just silly, wasn't it?
It was silly. Oh, it's going to go the way of Whitlock. Must have been a retaliation there because it seemed like a clear free kick against Sado. Up to the top of the goal square and bam, it marks. This would be an unbelievable start for the Power. We need a replay on that one, Loz.
Yeah, and you can see there's still a fair bit going on with Whitlock and those Crows defenders. Mark Keen's copping a bit.
He loves to... Speaking of people who like a box, Rod Jamieson, Mark Keane is not shy at all, even at training, with some friendly fire. So Xavier Bammett He's 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Strolls towards goal and kicks it. X marks the spot for the start of the second half of the showdown. Port Adelaide picked up where they left off. They're 9-6-60. Adelaide 6-2-38. 1 minute gone.
Well, I think they're probably just saying to Mark Keane, I can't understand what you're saying.
Well, no doubt about that. And we talked about at the ball up, they were already getting stuck in, Jamo. So perhaps this is old school tactics.
Well, I go back to the centre clearance, and Loz, to your point, I just don't understand why Jordan Dawson would be on the attacking side, and then you got Zach Butters on the attacking side on the other side. Like, it's Russian roulette.
Well, they're now man on 1v1 at centre ball up for the first time I can remember in this game, and the Crows need to square up in this fashion.
Port have kicked 6 of the last 7. Sweet down, whistle by the non-controlling umpire for a hold and advantage. Port will take it. Horn Francis heads to the broadcast wing. Lukosius with some time. Gets right underneath it. Towering kick into the 50. Georgiades caught behind. Whitlock flies. Knocked it down. Swarming and snapping a goal with Izzetto for his first in the AFL. Port are on fire. They are steamrolling the Crows with 7 of the last 8. And the margin is a game high 28 points. 10-6-66, plays 6-2-38, 2 played, third term on ABC Sport.
And this is why Jack Lukosius is on a wing. That long kick inside, you're just rubbing your hands together if you're Georgiades and Whitlock. Run and jump at the footy, and Mark Keane, if he hasn't copped a bit of lip already from those Port Adelaide forwards, he's going to deserve that contest. Sunk off Zatto, let him stay at the front of the ball, and Keane went goal side with really no impact at all, and Zatto, as much time as you like to finish that.
That's exactly what I was just going to call out, how soft that was and allowing him to do that. And Adelaide did that in the first quarter with Mitch Georgiades as well.
Back in the middle of the ground. Sweet straight down to Horn Francis, but kick was smothered by McAndrew. Did well. And we'll have another ball up centre circle. Braden Ingram.
Zatto goal, you saw Matthew Nick's head in his hands, the frustration becoming palpable.
28-point margin, another clearance going the way of the Power. Butters kicks forward. Cook pushed under the footy. Play on, says the umpire. Bammett was clean to Richards. He kicks inside the forward 50 looking for Georgiades. Ball ace was in better position, and he's going to win the free kick.
Like, seriously, how many times are they going to let Zach Butters clear it like that on his own?
Something has to change in the centre ball up. I think, obviously, Rankin's the one they go to. He's got that injury that he's carrying, but something has to change for the Crows.
Right back pocket is Worrell. That long, raking left foot kick down the line. Flying Zerk Thatcher. Roving Fogarty to Curtin. Shrugs the tackle of Drew. Oh, he handball towards Cumming. Missed the target. Raffle it for Port Adelaide. Winds to Drew. Inside the forward 50. Georgiades marks. 45-degree angle. Left half forward. It'll take a kick of 55.
Willem Drew is, again, like just that involvement on a wing to cover off defensively and slow down that Crows exit. Nice entry to Georgiades again.
Got multiple options if Georgiades wants to go to a teammate. They're everywhere. Adelaide have really dropped back.
Backing himself in from just outside 50. He hits it nicely, Georgiades. Away to the left, minus score. 10-7-67. Adelaide under enormous pressure, down by 29 points, 6-2-38, 5 minutes gone, third term.
Mark Keane to bring it in. Second game back after the broken leg. Gee, it's a powerful kick. All the way to the eastern centre wing. Front position, Zerk Thatcher brought it down, tackled for his troubles. Saligo wraps him up. So Butters has 22 touches on the night, has 30 or more in his last 6 showdowns.
Had 2 in this quarter already. 3 clearances to Port Adelaide, 4 inside 50s. Adelaide have hardly touched it, only 5 times.
McAndrew down, Horn Francis trying to wriggle out of the Berry tackle, but just can't break free, and will go again. Has the record, Zach Butters as well in showdowns with 42 touches a few years back. Got in the medal, here he is again. Hands it out towards Drew, right under the ball with a high spiral towards the 50. Cumming flies in and clatters into his teammate, and it spills fortuitously down to Port Adelaide and Corey Durden. This guy's having a night. 3 for Durden, and the Port fans erupt. What an absolutely amazing evening. They have kicked 8 of the last 9. 11-7-73. Adelaide 6-2-38. It's not just an upset. It could be a powerful statement. 6 minutes, third term.
That's first-class footy from Port Adelaide. Butters, again, you called it as the first possession off ruck hands in that middle-of-the-ground stoppage. And I love the team play from Zaddo. He was the first hands off the inside 50 kick. Could have run in and done it all himself, but Durden had turned Laird around from stoppage and beat him going back inside 50. And the unselfishness of this Port Adelaide team right now is an absolute highlight, and it's just such good footy to watch. Crows have gone man on at centre ball up. They have to change something.
Back in the middle of the ground, Sweet just takes it out. Handballs towards Mead. McAndrew did well. Shuffled a handball out to Cumming. Peatling throws it on the boot. Rankin, handball forward towards Neil Bullen. Rode the tackle. Power have the numbers through Evans. Clearing, kicked into the middle of the ground, and Wines can run onto it. Thought about playing on. He's going to get thrown down from behind. Holding the ball, Saligo. Jordan Dawson gathers the footy, lowers the yards, finds Thilthorpe. Left half forward. You can hear the boos of the crowd. That was definitely holding the ball.
It's got Jordan Dawson short.
So Thilthorpe, it would take a kick of 55. Left half forward. Against all the momentum.
Adelaide need this one. Got to get a score on the board. 5 inside 50s to Port Adelaide. 3-goal one. First time for Adelaide in this quarter.
Kicked a beauty earlier from the pocket. This is from 55. He's thumped it. But you can hear the crowd. They let it bounce, Port. There was 2 players there that could have marked it.
That's bizarre.
Going to let it go out over the boundary line for a throw-in. Left forward pocket. Crows trailing by 35 points. It's a home power showdown in the Invincible Jumpers. They're almost invincible tonight.
Last Crows goal was the 14-minute mark of the second term. Tossed in, bounces off the rucks. McAndrew gets it to Fogarty. Zigged and zagged, but then his kick was smothered. And Ware will rip it out of there with a long kick. And it lands in the lap of Whitlock. Stood in front of Cumming. Takes the mark. Gives it off to Burgoyne. Here come the power. Logan Evans up to right half forward. Kick just wasn't the right angle. And it floats over the boundary line out on the full. Immediately bringing it back in as ball ace for the Crows. They'll switch through defence. Worrell across the goal face. Keane, the short kick to Saligo that didn't reach him. Skids through a nutmeg. Richards there to pounce. Kicks across the body and misses wide left. They don't quite punish them, but Port's up by 36 now. Adelaide look absolutely rattled.
I reckon he needed to give that, Jamo. Had a couple of options.
Yeah. And just the poor option to kick like that as well.
Worrell, long kick, but it just lands in the lap of Josh Lyons. Going back inside the forward 50. Georgiades with an absolute hanger! He rode James Ball-Ace and catches it like only he can.
Get me on the ground. Look at that. Absolutely launched himself. Ball-Ace could not have done any more to get himself in the right position. As a defender, he copped a knee in the back of the head.
That is an old school step ladder.
That is a hanger.
Mitch Georgiades. Can he finish it off? The adrenaline will be pumping from 50. Mitch Georgiades set sail for home and just away to the right-hand side. Minor score. Oh, it's all happening at Adelaide Oval.
Chop it off. Georgiades. He's actually frustrating me watching him kick for goal.
2-3 for the night. Mitch Georgiades. Port's up by 37. Paul Kahan. Short pass wide to Cumming. Lost his footing as he tried to play on. Crowd thought he might have walked it over as a result. Kicks down the line. Out the back. Taken by Taylor. He wants to turn and go. To right half forward. Slips through the midst of Walker. He's got 2 behind him on the chase. Does enough to paddle it to Neil Bullen. The momentum shoots off the boot forward, but it's going to come back. High tackle. Going the way of the Texan.
Jordan Sweet with an enormous effort to chase Walker down, but the big fella a little bit clumsy. Definitely got Walker high. And more direct footy from the Crows. It's the only way to go now. They've been very poor to start this third quarter, and if anyone's going to slot this for the Crows, it's Taylor Walker.
The Power fans can smell blood and they're never satisfied. Up by 37, but not happy with the call there. Taylor Walker. The man with 56 showdown goals. Kicks from 45 and misses to the left. Port by 36 again. 11 played, third term on ABC Sport.
Jamo, what do you change if you're the Crows? Like, do you roll the dice and try and put Thilthorpe around the ball just for that 5 minutes and break up this momentum for Port Adelaide?
I wouldn't mind seeing Rochelle go into the middle too. Like, he didn't go there last week. So just to get going, change something up. Just the speed in which Port Adelaide are winning the football. Their clearance work again, but winning it. That's where they need to change. And McAndrew needs to find something.
So long down the line, and Vicentini into the back of Cumming on the wing. Goes short 45 ball to Dawson. Directing traffic from about 80. Lowers the eyes looking for Rankin. Big spoil over the top there from Ware. Playing a defensive role tonight. Did well.
Another poor kick though for Adelaide. Inside 50. That's been crucial.
So Port Adelaide up by 36 points. Completely dominated this quarter. The Crows need to find something. Boundary throw in. McAndrew knocks it towards Saligo. Went in very hard. Mead dives on the footy. Strong tackle from Peatling. Tries to get rid of it. Ball up, says the umpire. So we'll have a ball up for the Crows. Left half forward. 12.5 gone in this third term.
Port by 36. McAndrew down looking for Keys. Slides in, trying to reel the footy. Saligo trying to help. Keys gathers, tackled by Wines. Ball pops out. Richards collared from behind. Free kick, Port Adelaide defensive 50. Kuechly picks up, spots Wines, and here they come. Butters at full flight. Had so much momentum, he nearly fell over. Kicks towards the 50. Warren with the double fist, but he's knocked it straight to Whitlock. Gathers, loops the handball over the top. It was a hospital one to Vicentini. Is he taken without it? Zatto gathers at the back and snaps a minus score to the right. Gee, should have had a crack, Whitlock, and in the end, it's Port by 37 again.
Quick kick in, dangerous to Dawson. Did well. Being held on the mark there by Mead.
Like, in terms of luck, how good was that bounce for Whitlock? Like, it just could not have landed in his lap any better.
Switches to the outer side for Thilthorpe. Strong in front of Lai. Can he start something for Adelaide? Pumps it on the left boot. Up towards Walker, who marks right half forward. Plays on, steps inside. 55 from home to the goal square, looking for Keys. Ware gets the fist in. Ware gets the rush behind. A rush of blood, perhaps, for a moment there from Taylor Walker. So Adelaide 6-4-40. Port 11-10-76. 14 gone third term.
I like that from the Crows. I think Thilthorpe needs to come up the ground, get more involved. He's going to be one player who can break this game open and get the game trending back Adelaide's way.
Voice of Lauren Arnell alongside Rod Jamison tonight. Jacob Ware plays on from the defensive goal square. Got it to Burgoyne. He backtracks to Evans. Right back pocket for the Power at the moment. Lead is 36. Up to the broadcast wing. Whitlock flies in the pack. Can't control it when Francis clattered into. No free kick, but got it out. Ware towards Jones with a fumble. Rolls back towards Ware and Keys wraps him up. Left half forward for the Crows right now. Butters has 24 touches on the night and 10 clearances. Tap down Vicentini. He's looking for Butters. Knocked away towards Horn Francis. Gets the clearing kick. Up towards the broadcast wing. Benches. Cumming left it behind, out the back. Keane bowled over, and a throw going Adelaide's way. Saligo gets it out towards Dawson. Just forward of the logo, steps across and spears it towards the 50. Fogarty was in front. And what about the desperate dive from behind from Josh Lai? We cannot understate the 11th game's impact tonight. Fingertips in front to knock it over the boundary line.
It's been incredible, hasn't he, in defence?
Boundary throw in left half forward for Adelaide, trying to conjure something. Thilthorpe with the hit out towards Rochelle. Ricochets back over the boundary line. We'll do it all again. So halfway through this third term, Power shocking everyone here in the building. They're up by 36 points.
Cummings dropped back loose, so Port have an extra around the footy.
Rove by Berry from the hit-out tackle, Burgoyne. Fogarty goes in. He's wrapped up by 3 Power players. And we'll have a ball up 35 from goal, away to the left. Umpire wastes no time. Vicentini tries. Rochelle roves. He's wrapped up by 3 power plays. It's just no room to manoeuvre in that forward line. So we'll have another ball up with power up by 36.
Tossed into the air. Vicentini down from behind. Trying to reel it in was Lukosius. Dawson picks it up. Tackled. Ball shoots out close to the boundary line and Berry's walked over by Burgoyne. Will be tossed in 25 from home. Gave the scores in the World Cup early, but just ran out of time for the Super Netball. So a shout out to the Melbourne Vixens, who are going to play the Adelaide Thunderbirds next week in the grand final. Technically at home for Melbourne because they bought the game.
Is that 3 in a row they're going for, the Thunderbirds too?
Yes, record be the most all in the competition's history. Not in a row, but no. 3 year.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
I think they beat the Vixens last week too, didn't they?
They did. They've smashed them the last 2, so see what happens next weekend in Melbourne. Free kick off the boundary, throw in.
Tanya Obst, all the best.
Dante Vicentini gets it out of the ruck and gives it to Lai. Down the line he goes. Kick little long in the end for the pack. And Curvis at the back gets it. Heavy strapping on the left shoulder as he heads across defensive 50. Uses Josh Worrell. Now out towards Borlace. Just calling for options, but he doesn't really have a lot to go to. Heads to the eastern side. Good fly from Peatling. As he rises over Evans and quickly wants to go as he balks his way past Logan Evans. Peatling towards the 50 for the Crows and Fogarty clunks at 40 from home, slightly to the right.
Just opening up the ground, the Crows, shifting the ball again. And if it wasn't Fogarty catching the ball now, Thilthorpe had come from the ruck and forced Vicentini deep. And if it made its way a little bit deeper for the Crows, you'd be betting that Thilthorpe wins that contest in his forward line. But Fogarty, again, he's been a shining light for Adelaide so far in this game.
3 for the night. Darcy Fogarty starts at right half forward. Stutter step. Kicks from 45. Monster bomb into the hill. Fogg's got 4. Adelaide have their first goal since the 14-minute mark of the second term, which he last kicked. Margins down to 30. 18 played, third term. 11-10-76 to 7-4-46. Rod Jamison, Lauren Arnell on ABC Sport.
Just clear out the 50 old style and just put him down there one-on-one. He's the only forward that's standing up and really performing tonight when he has to. But that Peatling kick, just that extra 10 or 15 metres allows you to get the footy over the back of your defence. Tremendous kick too in the end to the advantage, which they haven't been able to do a lot tonight. Opportunity
now for the Crows as well. Jace Burgoyne, Ollie Wines and Horn Francis with Vicentini, the inside mix for Port Adelaide. So no butters out there. They've gone 1v1 again. Crucial part of the game.
Braden Ingram on the boundary.
And Jake Saligo's now gone into the middle, so he'd typically playing forward with Rankin back in the side, but now they've opted to put him there with Rankin playing forward with that injury.
Some soccer work here from Horn Francis up to centre half forward. Working back well there was Cook. Gets it to Berry, but his handball had too much on it. Bounced off the chest of Vicentini to Mead, over towards Georgiades who flied. Durden's roving at the back, he's clean. Another dribbling goal! Having a day out. What a special performance it is for Corey Durden. He's got 4. He's making up for last week after his run ended. And they immediately get the bounce back goal, the power, back out to a 36-point margin. 12-10-82, 7-4-46 Adelaide.
It's uncharacteristic, but this fumbling by Adelaide across their half back line or in their back line. So Jason Horn-Francis was outstanding. He won the footy. He moved it forward. He's crashed the contest. Lost the football. Adelaide had it. Tried to handball back through the other way. Fumbled. The pressure came. And then Port Adelaide were able to win it back once again.
One of those trades that seems mutually beneficial. Ben Ainsworth looks great at Carlton right now, and Corey Durden's flying at Port Adelaide. Obviously, there are a few other pieces, but
look at this clearance stuff, Aaron, too. 9-1 in this quarter in favour of Port Adelaide. And it's been like that for the first quarter and now the third. Adelaide were able to get it back a little bit, but
they're checking this.
Oh,
Nankervis stuck an arm out.
Ooh, got his hand on it.
That's touched.
Yep. It is touched. The fingertips have gone back, and Corey Durden's going to be robbed of his 4th. Tom Wilson's going to be robbed of an awesome call.
That's just the 1%ers, though, from Nank, isn't it? Like, consider how great that crumb was from Durden, but it's just you're never out of it. We saw the chase down from Georgiades earlier in this match. Must be a moment for the Crows there from Luke Nankervis.
So Port by 31 now. But Adelaide still have to get it out. From the defensive goal square. Keane with the short pass. Rory Laird, left back pocket. Tries to play on. Desperate dive attempt from Georgiades. Impacts the kick. Durden gathers, kicks. It's over the head of Whitlock and tumbles through for a minor score on the left. Adelaide just so treacherous when they exit defensive 50. They're struggling to hit targets.
We heard Stuart Dew before the game mention how important time in front half is, and the Port Adelaide players are defending the ground exceptionally well in this quarter.
Kick out of defence, Hall Kahan towards Curtin. Tries to keep it in. Rankin watches it go over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. Right half forward for Port Adelaide.
He's had a quiet night too, Dan Curtin. Again, Keys hasn't touched the footy in this quarter. Michael Annie hasn't touched it. Alir. Joe Berry hasn't touched it for Port Adelaide either.
Visentini straight down to Horn Francis. Berry almost at his back, not quite. Handball from Rochelle to Hall Kahan. He dropped it. Holding the ball. So Joe Berry gets the free kick, 60 from home. Laird took his time on the mark. Got rid of it just in time.
Well, here's his first touch.
On cue, Jamo. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking for Bammett. Fisted away, rode by Cook, off to Nankervis. Thought about going to Keane. That was brilliant footwork from Nankervis. He's having a moment. You can hear the boos. That's because it's a mark to Taylor Walker. Long down the line towards Keys. Almost took the chest mark. Was held onto, says the umpire. He has the free centre wing.
Keys steps inboard and hits for hope to the scoreboard. He's going towards Fogarty. He was caught behind it. Nearly landed in his lap. Gathers. Gives it to Neil Bullen. The fast speed, but Wines was quick enough to catch him. Tackled. Ball shoots out. No free kick. Lukosius leaves it behind. Burne-Jones is there for the power, but blasts it straight to Walker. Adelaide just forward of centre wing, eastern side. He'll switch through the corridor. Walker to Cook. Now out wide to Curtin. Plenty of space to work with as he runs through the paddock. Curtin's kick to a flurry of power players, and Josh Lai will gobble it up D50. Port by 32.
Josh Rochelle was the lead up. That's where he had to go.
Ware brings it out of defence. Up towards Berry, who's nursed under the footy. He's going to get the free. Alir had a smile on his face after that marking contest with Josh Lai. That's how bad the kick was. Could have raffled at those two. So Berry with the footy, left half back for the power. Up by 32 points. Takes his time with a long ball towards Visentini. Whitlock got hands to it. Roved by Saligo. Handball towards Laird and he missed him. It's a lasso free. A backward handball. So Butters plays on quickly. Slipped as he did it. And he hits Horn Francis on the chest. And it's a late 50. Talk me through it, Loz.
I'm going to make an assumption the umpire hadn't called play on. Crows player on the mark, Dawson. Laird. Rory Laird. I think he's come off the mark before the umpire's called play on, so it's downfield 50 and a set shot for Zach Butters.
So that's a very unlucky because Butters has gone to play on but slipped. So potentially Laird's then moved off the mark.
Unless he's paid it for the late hit, but it was in motion of the kick, so I'm only assuming it's because he played on without the umpire calling it.
So Zach Butters has been marched forward to about 35 out, 45-degree angle to the left. The stand-in skipper talked about, can he convert these goals? And that's why it's a discussion point. That would have been a big moment in the game, and he's missed. 11-13-79. Adelaide 7-4-46. They're keeping them in the game with this kicking. 33 points the margin, 25 gone in this third term.
3 straight behinds for the power, but still on top. Long exit for the Crows, and Alia sticks his mitts up. Mr. Packer bodies cuts it off just inside the square. Now Alia will set it up. Back where it came from, left forward pocket, front position. Borlase juggles, put it down. Front and square was Mead. Tight angle, scoring it towards the goal square. Burgoyne wants the mark and it won't be paid. Oh, the goal limits. My goodness. That is the latest call you ever see. Adelaide were already away. Chase Burgoyne's paid the mark in the goal square. And his father's number Would have been a special moment if the umpire hadn't butchered it. Jace Burgoyne from 10 slots it through the big sticks. Caught by 39. His dad was a showdown medalist. Jace Burgoyne honouring the lineage of his family. 12-13, 85 Port Adelaide. The Crows 7-4, 46. Time on in the third. It's getting harder for the Crows now, Jamo.
It is too, and just the simple things. And we've just seen the replay. It's, I don't know, like they've both got their hands on it, and it's fallen in between. Jace has got it there, but then Curtin's got his hand on it through there. So, look, it's a goal.
It's a bit of a lesson, I reckon, for Curtin.
Yeah, totally.
A clever kick from Mead. Curtin had front position as the ball came in and stood flat-footed, which meant Burgoyne could slide in front, and that's why the mark was paid.
Bigger body, might have felt he could, outmaneuver him in the contest. So again, just little things that they would normally do well or do better. They've been beaten tonight.
Sweet out the front of the ruck contest, tackled by McAndrew. Ball advances about 15 metres from the centre circle.
Shelley finally inside mid.
Trying to get him involved in the game. Sweet, too strong for McAndrew. In fact, he ripped him off the ball and he didn't have it, so McAndrew gets the free. Going to handball it off to Hall Kahan, who's trying to inject himself into the game. Kicks up towards centre half forward. Kick partially smothered. Went through Peatling's hands. Gathered by Fogarty. Over the top towards Butters, who was ridden into the turf. Zach Taylor runs in from left half forward. He's wrapped up in a big tackle. We'll have another ball up. 40 from the Crows home.
Just another poor kick inside 50. Hall Kahan, idea.
Wonder how much they're missing Wayne Miller. Hall Kahan's having to do it by himself tonight.
Great call. In the ruck contest, Rochelle was pulled off the footy. No free kick, says the umpire, but a quick ball there from McAndrew has landed in the lap of Zach Taylor, 35 out directly in front.
Some strong arguments from the Port Adelaide players around how far that ball travelled.
Right on the distance, I think. Quick kick, seeing the replay. Maybe 14.9.
all day, every day.
After that mark in the goal square,
yes,
Jamo?
They're just going to get one back the other way.
Square up.
Well, Jace Burgoyne, that was the latest call ever for his mark and then goal. Zach Taylor. They need this is the ultimate understatement. And the young fella, Zach Taylor, steps up and delivers. Keeps the Crows in it. They're 8-4-52. Port 12-13, 85. 28 and a half gone in the third term for ABC Sport. This is Showdown 60.
Well, we've seen a little change for the Crows having Rochelle inside. They've changed that back again now. So it's Berry, Saligo, Dawson, McAndrew for Adelaide. You just get the sense it's now or never, Jamo.
Yeah, look, they're starting to win the football back, but again, it's just wasteful. So Adelaide 13-10 inside 50s too. The contested stuff has been all Port Adelaide this quarter. 33-24. Clearance is still 10-3 in favour of Port Adelaide.
It's funny how much they loved Joshua Shelley on ball to start the year, and once Rankin got in, even when he got injured for the 3 weeks with the calf, they decided not to go back. Tonight would have been the perfect reason to do so, and they're just not committing.
13 inside 50s this quarter. Port Adelaide for 4 goals, 7.
Tap down, Saligo misses his target. Wines is there, gets it out for Port. Drew to Butters, shrugs off a tackle. Disposal 29, inside 50 to Bannett, clattered into the other way by Laird, and that will be front on contact. Rory Laird did not have eyes for the ball, and Bam Bam gets the set shot from 40.
Great kick from Zach Butters, and why the Crows aren't tagging him is beyond me. Letting Horne-Francis and Butters run their own race tonight is damaging Adelaide. A wonderful kick inside 50.
29 touches, 11 clearances, 600 metres gained for Zach Butters as he eyes what could be another showdown medal. Xavier Bammett with a set shot. Crosses the paint of 50. First ever showdown, misses very wide right. It's actually out on the full. Port by 33, closing in on three-quarter time.
If I'm his goal-kicking coach, he needs to go in a little bit quicker. He walks in and then he relies on his kick, and he overkicked it.
The Crows are over handballing at Jamo. They've turned it over. Quick kick from Butters inside. He missed Vicentini. That's rare. Cumming got it to Keane. Steps inside towards Hall Kahan. Now Berry with some run. Behind Laird in the handball. He's a true centre half back. The Cross ball to Cook. Handballs now to Nankervis at the logo. Short ball to Fogarty. He's missed the target. Lasso free.
This is where the Crows are missing Wayne Miller. If he's the overlap run there instead of Nankervis, that ball's going inside 50 and there's a set shot for Adelaide. The ball use, as you guys have mentioned throughout, has been poor from the Crows.
Yeah. Free kick, Port Adelaide. Burn-Jones down the line, roved, handball towards Bammett for Port Adelaide. His kick did not favour Vicentini. Keane went with the one hand. He's fumbling! He's fumbling in the pocket now. He's tackled over the boundary. This is rare. We rarely see this from Adelaide. Fumbling, bumbling. They're feeling the showdown pressure. And the Power have brought it all night. They're up by 33 points.
And who else but Zach Butters to get stuck right into him as well. They're letting them know all about it. Tossed in. Port's 50. Sweep with a double tap. Drew trying to track it. Awkward bounce. Wines with a beautiful spin through traffic. Got it to Burgoyne, but his handball was not the best. Barely made contact. Drew comes in, gets the assist. Back towards Evans. It's Georgiades zigging and zagging. Saturday night fever as he dances and dodges outside of the arc and then gives it away. Saligo for the Crows to left half back to Peatling. Tries to wheel back. This is where they've been in a bit of trouble. The wall's closing in. Nankervis has two to beat, and he does well to break through both. Kicks down the line. Philthorpe gets around Aaliyah and clunks the contested grab.
That's crazy.
No one's ahead of him, and the siren will beat them. Port by 33 points at three-quarter time in front of a sold-out home crowd in Showdown 60. Can you believe it? It's 15th versus 5th, but Port look like a heavyweight right now. 12-13-85 plays 8-4-52. Goal scorers for the Power, 3 to Durden, 2 to Georgiades and Burgoyne and Berry on Francis, Zatto and Bammett with 1 each. And for the Crows, 4 to Fogarty, individuals to Philthorpe, Rochelle, Taylor and Neil Bullen. Might just quickly check in with Braden Ingram downstairs.
Yeah, Josh Worrell just went down the race, probably the last few minutes of that quarter. You mentioned in that second quarter, Aaron, he was a little bit sore. He has come back up, but clearly now they've got a couple of issues. We know Isaac Rankin isn't 100%. Having played in the forward line for all of this second half, it's a big task from here.
Massive hill to climb for the Adelaide Crows. A win would have put them in the top 4. Now they've got to backtrack from a 6-goal deficit. Down 33, but we know Showdown's always are full of surprises. On ABC Local Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital, it's Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Some chase the story.
We'll be interviewing some of Australia's most famous faces.
And some are the story.
Hello, beautiful people.
The piano, the assembly, and race around the world.
This is fabulous.
I loved it.
Great storytelling on ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Xavier Bammett. He's 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Strolls towards goal and kicks it. X marks the spot for the start of the second half of the showdown.
Lukosius with some time. Gets right underneath the towering kick into the 50. Georgiades caught behind. Whitlock flies, knocked it down. Swarming and snapping and going to Zatto for his first in the AFL. Cumming flies in and clatters into his teammate, and it spills fortuitously down to Port Adelaide and Corey Durden. This guy's having a night. 3 for Durden, and the Port fans erupt. Darcy Fogarty starts at right half forward. Stutter step, kicks from 45. Monster bomb into the hill. Fogg's got 4. Jace Burgoyne from 10 slots it through the big sticks. Port by 39.
Zach Taylor. They need this is the ultimate understatement. And the young fella, Zach Taylor, steps up and delivers.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Port Adelaide are pulling off a massive upset tonight. They've just got to hold on in the final term. 12-13-85 against the Crows. 8-4 52. What a performance from Josh Carr's men. Do the Crows have a response is the big question as we turn for home. Aaron Bryans and Tom Wilson with you alongside Rod Jamieson and Lauren Arnell on special comments. Bit of a love-in on the text line, 0437 774 774. Terry's in Thailand. Says Jamo's excellent on special commentary and enjoying the showdown. And Grant in Waterloo says Amanda Ferrugia is my favourite captain, but Lauren Arnell is the next best and my favourite coach. So shout out to you, Grant, and says go Port.
Oh,
so
well done.
There you go, crew. What a performance from Port Adelaide tonight.
Super impressive, I must admit. I didn't expect it. I don't know. A lot of us did, Loz, coming here tonight. It was, I guess, the performances coming into it again. They have, their 5 losses recently have been under 3 points, so they've been in the games, but it's probably as clean and the continual pressure across the 3 quarters to date that is as good as I've seen from them.
Yeah, look, Jamo, I've got some strong thoughts, if I'm honest, and I didn't think Port Adelaide would get near the Crows tonight based on what I've seen from Adelaide in the last month to 6 weeks, but what I'm seeing tonight is very disappointing from my perspective watching Adelaide and incredibly inspiring from Port. I think Josh Carr, what he's done with selection, playing Lukosius on a wing, naming Visentini to square up the tall defenders for Adelaide, and Zato and Bammett being the Bash brothers in the front half without Pal Pepper back yet. I think it's a masterclass from Port so far, but for the Crows, why they haven't tagged Butters or Horne-Francis to this point of the game is wild to me. And no Miller, understand if he's had some hamstring awareness, let him have a rest, but that's been a massive hole for them tonight, leaving everything to Hall Kahan and a little bit of Rory Laird coming off half back, but they're not playing the game that's in front of them. And Thilthorpe staying deep on Alir is not working overly for them either. Fogarty's been super, but I just think for them they can still win this game, the Crows, but for them to break this game open, they've got to be a little bit more humble and tag one of Butters or Horne-Francis at least, and allow Thilthorpe to come higher up the ground and connect the ground for them. Otherwise, Port Adelaide have got them on ice. I think they've been electric. They've been exceptionally well coached, and the effort from the Port Adelaide players tonight in the prison bars has been exceptional.
Let's check in with Braden on the boundary.
Matthew Nicks came down the race, went straight to Jordan Dawson. It was a very calm, composed conversation. Then he went to Isaac Rankin. We know he's been playing forward with that injury, but guess what? He's gone straight into the middle for this centre bounce. Clearly they know they need him to lift. That's interesting. Given that injury, they're still going to pull the trigger on him now. Alir in the Port Adelaide, he had treatment on that ankle that he rolled in the third quarter, but he does look good to go.
Is there one last twist? Showdowns full of epic moments and absolute stunners. We've had 59 crackers and now we've got the 60th. History says upsets happen more often than not. Only 61% of the time is the favourite one. Tonight, Port Adelaide trying to continue a trend. Up by 33 points. We'll see what we've got in store in this final quarter, Rod Jamieson.
Well, I think Adelaide are going to have to kick their total score as it is right now to get over the top of Port Adelaide, and the way they're playing, their decision-making with the football in hand going forward, their execution is poor. The pressure that Port's applied, they've been fumbly. I just can't see it happening, unfortunately.
I mentioned the tag on Horne-Francis or Butters. The Crows have gone with Dawson, Rochelle, Rankin at centre ball up here, which, to your point, Jamo, if you're going to score, pull your best players around the footy, get your hands on it.
30 for the night for Butters, so the last 7 showdowns, he's been prolific. Here we go. Final term underway. McAndrew down. Rankin's first to the footy. Tackled by Sweet. Got it out. Was it clean? Umpire says yes. Nankervis uses McAndrew. Babbitt's on his tail. They're under so much pressure right now. Dawson will give it away. Handed it to Richards, but he missed his boot. Off the side, it tumbles over. Lasso free kick to the Crows. They're at left half back at the moment. Bringing it in, Rory Laird. Centre pass to Nankervis and down the line to Rankin. Zach Butters as well. This will be his 15th straight game being in the top 5 in champion data ranking points. Record 16. Down the line, kick no good. Rankin just banged it to left half forward. Sweet uses the body to get in front of McAndrew. Port have it at right half back. Lead is 33.
Assesses his options and goes long towards Visentini. Led over the top with the spoil. Lukosius with the rove. Up inside the forward 50. Georgiades coming out fast. Socket it back towards Joe Richards, who finds Horne-Francis, who rolled forward. And he marks 40 out on a 45-degree angle away to the right.
The story of the night so far, Jamo. Crows really poor, exiting deep 50, and Port Adelaide. Really clean. Nice pick up from Richards and the composure to find Horne-Francis, who snuck forward and read the play before everybody else.
Normally should be same, but different, but it's the same.
Horne-Francis coming up for possession number 22. Already has the goal tonight. Having a career best year. And his partner in crime, Zach Butters, dominant through the midfield. In comes Horne-Francis. A big drop punt. Away to the left. A few opportunities to bury this game. They've yet to do it. 12-14-86. Adelaide 8-4-52. 2 gone. Final term.
Quick exit from the Crows. It should have been reeled in by Rochelle. Gets another chance. Durden right beside him. Gathers. Rush the kick. Gives it away. Logan Evans edges Keys out of the drop. Intercept for Port Adelaide. True centre wing, eastern side. Evans back towards the 50. On a run is Durden. Rochelle gets in front of him. Free kick for a hold going way back towards Worrell. Isintini, the offender. He sends it to the defensive goal square. Crows down 34. Showdown 60 on ABC Sport. Mark Keane calls for some options.
Brave.
And swings it with a flaring kick to the spine, and it won't work for Dawson. It's too wide. Drew traps it. Got it to Butters. And surging by is Jason Horne-Francis. Goal umpire a little unsure. But there's the roar to confirm it. The Hornets got a double. Port by 40 in showdown 60. 13-14-92 to 8-4-52. 3 played. Final term. What a strike from Jason Horne-Francis.
I think it might have... They're all sort of hanging around here. Now we're sitting here watching the replay behind the goals, and it's gone extremely close to the post.
I reckon it's hit the padding. Mark Keane has not moved.
Yeah.
Good shout, Jamo. It looks like it's grazed the padding on the replay.
Interesting the field umpire didn't come in to ask the goal umpire, who paused and just kind of let him go for it.
Well, he was actually...
And it's a clear spike on edge.
How am I going to be an umpire here?
Well done.
I'm going to say, mate, look where he is. He had to get to the other side of the post to see it go over his head.
So minor score, Port by 35.
So everyone paused, even in the celebration. I mean, I don't think Horne-Francis thought it was a goal either, but it gets paid. Now, Keane wanted to play on. He's getting delivered a different footy, the one that was in the middle of the ground, not the one that was in the esky behind the back.
Call out to David Roden, Cheese Roden, the happiest goal umpire in the AFL.
Keane long down the line. Lie!
Wow.
You just got to love the way you lie.
Stop that.
Goes inside the forward 50. Roving contest, free kick the way of the Crows.
Where did that come from?
I'm glad you're with me. It's a great song.
No arguments there, just what a throwback.
Bringing out of defence is Michaelani for the Crows. Lies there again, Sweet over the top, lays the tackle on Taylor. Forward handball up towards Neil Bullen. Tackled by Zirk Thatcher. Butters came in over the top. Dawson grabbed it to Fogarty. He's moved down from behind by Joe Richards. Free kick put in.
Gee, they're on the hunt tonight. Fogg got through one, couldn't get through the second. Richards heads wide on the 45. Aaliyah has it right in front of the benches. Port by 35 points. Still 16 to go in showdown 60. Aaliyah towards the 50. Front position, courageous from Taylor. 2 coming behind. Both got a fist in. Front and square, Drew. Spun a full 360 by Dawson. Got it out. Nankervis uses Keane for Adelaide. Kick had a little fingertip towards Taylor. Now he's under duress. Drew buffets him off it. Richards gathers for the power. Gets it to Butters. Trying to squeeze the kick across. Taylor gathers. And Drew might have actually concussed himself here. He's run straight into Cook in back play and bounced back towards the turf. Thankfully, he's on his feet. Port go back inside 50. Rory Laird on the bounce, though. Shoots the handball wide. Michael Annie right back pocket. Kicks up towards the broadcast wing. Aaliyah gets in front. Couple of flyers out the back. Port have options. Burgoyne gets it to Ware. That's a shocking kick. He had more time than he thought, and he's kicked it out on the full. Free kick Adelaide, down 35.
So, Nankervis will have the footy.
Doctors are waiting to go check on Willem Drew as well.
Short ball to Rankin. Right half back for Adelaide. Dangerous ball. They've been told to take risks and they're taking them. Turnover coming here. Lukosius socketed it towards Durden. A couple of Crows plays in there, one of them being Curtin, the other Ball Ace. We'll have a ball up. True centre half forward for the Power. 35-point margin. Sweet knocks it forward. Rankin tries to grab it. Tackled by Richards. Berry, last year's showdown medalist. Perhaps this year's showdown medalist. Zach Butters kicks out towards Bammett at right half forward. He goes to ground. Does Bam Bam. And Mark Keane does well to Curtin. Trying to inject himself into this contest. Short to Taylor Walker. There's the Bronx cheers. Dangerous ball through the middle of the ground towards Taylor. Spoiled by Drew. Socket off the deck by Braden Cook to Rochelle, who finds Thilthorpe in the left forward pocket. Something from nothing.
It's a kick by Taylor Walker, wasn't it, too? It just sat in the air a little bit longer than maybe he would have liked, but it really came inboard to a dangerous spot. And then, fortuitously, the kick off the ground. We've seen a couple of those tonight with the World Cup on in the background.
Yeah, Cook loves his round ball game. So does Rochelle. Thilthorpe goes the snap. Around the body, it's high. Just kicked the belly of the ball a bit. Looked like that bounced over the line. Play on, says the umpire. Here comes the whistle. It's going to be a hold. Let's get down to the boundary, Braden Ingram.
Yeah, so the Crows doctor was hovering around Max Michaelani, and they'd already checked on him about a minute or two earlier. Sorry, continue.
Sorry, Braden. They've paid a free kick here to Ben Keys for a hold. He's quickly paid on and kicked the goal. Now the umpire's saying he has to come back over the mark.
Why would he just pay 50?
They've got to go back and check this.
I reckon, your call, Tom. It looked like it bounced over the line from Thilthorpe's kick.
So Keys snaps that around the body. So he completes the goal. Crows desperately need that. Crows fans, trust me, he's still massively in this contest. 9-4-58, Porter 12-15-87. But there is drama down here at the Riverbank end. The Port fans are bemused. The players are bemused. Here's the replay. It's bounced over the line. Are you kidding me?
I saw one of those at Glenelg Oval too today, and it bounced out, and then Sturt kicked a goal.
So that was clearly over the line. They've kept playing. They haven't stopped the play. In the meantime, they've paid a free kick to Adelaide, and Ben Keys has kicked the goal.
So wouldn't this be smart if they just take the footy back to the square and Port Adelaide have it and kick in?
I don't think there's anything they can do. Like, Ollie Wines is begging the central umpire. There's nothing the central umpire can do now.
Port by 29.
That's staggering.
McAndrew out of the middle. Handball sharked. Butters gets it out to Wines. Quick kick inside 50 for Port. Losing his footing is Vicentini. Fist comes in for Whitlock. Pouncing is Georgiades. Caught that. Who cares about the score review when you can go end to end like that? Port by 35 once again. 13-15-93 to 9-4-58. So pandemonium in one moment, elation in another. Port get the quick response, 9 played, final term.
That's the story of the night for me. Centre ball up, centre clearance work from Port Adelaide, and the resilience that we've seen from the Crows throughout this season is now reflective in the Port players tonight. Their ability to bounce back from what surely was not a goal to the Crows, had been paid to the Crows. A lot of issues at that centre ball up, and again, Port Adelaide respond. Quick goal. They've just been clinical tonight.
Back to your point, Jammer, with that call. The common sense, the right thing would...
Absolutely.
It's very simple, isn't it?
Well, the first thing was it was a behind.
That's right.
So stop it there. You know it's a behind. Give it back to the square. Port Adelaide then kick it in and put 1 point on the board.
They could have checked it while Keys was stepping over the mark. Back in the middle of the ground, Butters tried to get the clearance. He swung 360 in a tackle. Pack of players in the centre square.
Well, that and what Loz just summarised, it's just ridiculous from an Adelaide perspective.
Yeah, yep.
Getting killed in the centre. Butters lays a tackle on Berry. And Lauren Arnell and Rod Jamieson are seeing him like beach balls tonight. Describing this showdown shocker. What an upset. Port Adelaide up by 35 points. Back in the middle of the ground.
Can I go home now?
I'm going to have to out my poor nephew. He's a big Crows fan and he's already left in tears, the poor fella.
We're on till 11 Eastern, Jamo, so plenty to unpack. We'll try and head into both rooms. Now the stoppage, tap down, Drew quickly wrapped up.
Well, let's stay with the Port rooms for the night, shall we?
Ball up, eastern side logo. Game's not done yet, but Port in the good spot. Up 35. Tap down. Wines first to it. Berry right behind him. May have just committed a little early. Holding free kick. Port Adelaide. It's going to go to the Brownlow medalist, and he'll hand it off to Zach Butters. Continues his immense night. Into the 50 to Vicentini. How about that from Dante? Worrell all over him, and he still clunks it. 40 out, 45 to the right.
8-1 inside 50s in this quarter in favour of Port Adelaide.
Adelaide were eyeing off a spot in the top 4 with Geelong on the bye, and it has unravelled. Port were up for the fight early. Margin was just 4 at the first break. Adelaide up then. Port switched it to go up by 16, then 33. Vicentini kicks from 45. It's across the face and knocked through for a minor score. Port by 36 now. 12 minutes to go, and Adelaide sense the moment.
Out towards coming at right half back. He plays on. Bumped as he kicked by Georgiades. Bammett flies, gets 2 hands to it. Fogarty tried to claim the mark, even though Bammett clearly touched it. Then Saligo had his head ripped off by Horn Francis. He wins the free kick. Horn Francis with a few afters, reminding him that he's probably had a slightly better game. Risky kick. Whitlock read it best.
We're watching this bloke grow up right in front of our eyes, Jack Whitlock, tonight. He's been exceptional.
Short to Mead. Plays on now. It's a little bit wider.
50.
What's happened downfield? I think Mark Keane has I think he stepped in the line of
Joe Berry
and dropped him there.
Probably not the bloke you want reminding you of that is Dante Vicentini. He will be letting him know.
The only thing I'll say in this case, like if you're standing there and the umpire's right in front of you, like if an opposition puts their hands on me, this is where this is old school, like just keep your hands to yourself, mate.
Yeah. Yep. That's the message in primary schools as well, Jamo.
How's Matty Nix just putting the phone down as cautiously as he could, but he looked so upset he just wanted to throw it.
Jackson Mead gets the free kick, 25 out, and he couldn't seal it. I mean, that is as much of a sitter as you'll ever get. This is like the Geelong game where Port couldn't close it out right till the end. They're still up 37 points in showdown 60.
1 goal, 4 in the final term to a straight goal. Adelaide goes straight up the middle. In the centre square, it hits the deck. Berry on hands and knees, shoots the handball wide. Dawson dukes it out towards Keys, then releases Saligo up to left half forward to Walker. Plenty of space to think about his entry. He's waiting for some options. Decides, stuff it, I'm going to go. Vintage text from 60 to the goal square, and back with the flight. It's marked. Neil Bullen could have left it to go through. Takes the mark instead, but they're going to give it to Port Adelaide. Willem Drew was bowled over in the back. As Neil Bullen took the mark.
My goodness.
And that is the cherry on top of a frustrating night for the Adelaide Crows. Exiting kick to right half back. Comes down. Couple of tackles. Will get a ball up on the paint of attacking. 50 for Adelaide. Replay coming in now. So Neil Bullen clear cut. Fogarty with the hip and shoulder. Gives away the free kick.
And then Horn Francis.
So from the clearance, left half forward. Burn-Jones, and they've managed to keep it in. No, it's going to be a throw-in. That had no impact on the contest whatsoever.
It shouldn't be a free kick.
Andrew Dillon, seriously, this is an adult game.
Like, goodness me.
Like, talk about why the umpires, everyone gets frustrated with them.
Probably the leveller, Jamo, after what we saw earlier. Thilthorpe grabs it out of the ruck, rides a big tackle, jumped over the top of Horn Francis. Saligo's there. So is Rochelle. He soccers it forward and winds us happy. Let's go to Braden Ingram.
So Jason Horne-Francis and Josh Rochelle have been trading words for about a good 90 seconds all over the ground, and then Thilthorpe just absolutely crashed into Horne-Francis. He's enjoying the power start. He's lapping up every moment of this likely win.
Well, they're under their skin, aren't they? Not just on the scoreboard. Wines thrown to the ground by Saligo. We'll have another ball up. Left half forward for Adelaide. Port up by 37 points, 50,000 in the house.
Shout out to the fans, considering they were 15th walking in, undermanned and underestimated out of the stoppage. Adelaide with a handball chain. It's a low one for Walker, though he can't get down. And as he looks to gather, he's wrapped up in the tackle. Gee, Porter all over them. They've been rewarded for their commitment tonight. Hill jam-packed. Tossed into the air. Thilthorpe down. Looking for Saligo. Runs out of room with Wines behind him. Shout out to Ollie Wines as well. There were some big questions around him after the management last week, and Josh Carr's quotes that he's uncertain about his future, but he's looked good tonight.
Shelley and Horne-Francis just at it, pushing each other in the chest.
Port by 37. Tossed in. Thilthorpe down to Rochelle. Tried to squeeze a handball through traffic. It's smothered by Burne-Jones, who falls into the footy. Crows ask the question, but won't get the reward. Ball up. 40 out. Adelaide inside 50 at the moment.
Thilthorpe and Visentini. Burne-Jones picks it up. Gathers. They'll be happy with this, Loz.
I just can't stop thinking this is just such an exceptional game of footy for Port Adelaide. They've been clinical.
Horne-Francis was bursting through the pack, got taken high, and he actually umpired that himself. He stopped, and then the whistle came maybe 5 seconds later. They were disallowing a goal from 5 minutes ago.
Just to let Horne-Francis and Butters do as they please for the whole night, it's just beyond me.
Would you say it's a lack of respect, Lauren?
I can't rationalise the thinking.
So Aliir brings it out of Port Adelaide's defence. Finds the target of Evans in the pocket of 3 Crows players. He's going to switch it all the way to Horne-Francis. Beautiful kick. He's got a runner in Burne-Jones, which he'll use. Logo outer side of the ground. Port up by 37 points. 18 gone in this final term. One of the great showdown upsets has unfolded before our very eyes. And you can hear the 50,000 Power fans. Richards up towards Georgiades at right half forward. Rode by Hawker to Neil Bullen. Now Saligo's got it. Tries to step inside Georgiades. Got the skates on. Handball to Worrell. Made it hard for Curtin, who fumbled. Lockie Jones goes to ground. Curtin picks it up. Kicks forward again. Lai drops the mark. Rochelle running forward. Looking inboard to centre half forward. And he finds Peatling. So he's 55 from home. Couple of one-on-ones. Chips over the top towards Laird. Didn't hit the target, but he's got time for it to sit. Lowers the eyes, and he can't hit the target of Berry. He's got some company. Tries to centre the ball, and Mead read it best. You're shaking your head, Lauren.
Peatling's got the ball at the top of 50. Fogarty's got Zirk Thatcher done absolutely cold, and he kicks it wide to overlap run and misses the target. It's poor footy.
There are a chain of chances, and it's infuriating to watch. Just bad decision making. Port by 37. Down the broadcast wing on Francis thought about a flyer. Spills down. Thilthorpe with a handball out. Hot one, ball ace. Set upon. Ball up to come.
So we talk about Port Adelaide's inaccuracy across the season. They've kicked 13 goals, 17 tonight. But the Crows have only had 13 scoring shots.
Could have pumped them if they were even more accurate. Sweet down. Butters trying to bounce through traffic. Can't come out with the footy. Horne-Francis might be able to as he brushes off Berry. Gets the handball to Bergwijn, who handed it straight to Rankin. Adelaide now towards the 50. Port have some numbers. Walker crashes in though. Knocked it down to Peatley. He's tackled by 2 and still got it clear. Saligo brushes 1. Kicks towards the 50 and the Texan marks. 40 from home. 45 to the right. Knows he has to go.
Saligo was good on that occasion too, just to stay calm with the footy, take the tackler on, get around.
Taylor Walker races back and then gets into his routine. At right half forward, crowd against him. The Texan in his 27th showdown, maybe his last. Kicks it starting left, it's coming back a bit but not enough. Another minor score. Port by 36 in showdown 60 and there is 6 minutes to go.
2 behinds, Taylor Walker tonight.
Lockie Jones brings it back in to Zirk Thatcher, who's in his first game of the year at AFL level. Certainly put in a solid performance. Kicks down the line looking for Horne-Francis and finds Richard at the back of the pack. So Richards marks. Defensive side of centre wing, members side of the ground. And they can just soak it up here, Port Adelaide. Short to Mead. 13-17, 95, 9-5, 59. They've doubled them in scoring shots. Absolutely dominated this game. Scoreboard's probably being nice to the Crows. And look at Horn Francis rise. Marks in front of Rankin.
His energy tonight has been off the charts, hasn't it?
Goes to Lai, who works it all the way back to Jones at centre half back.
Lockie Jones had a big task tonight with the undermanned back line. This three-headed dragon has been quelled. He links up little 1-2 with Darcy Byrne-Jones as they run down the clock. Still plenty to go, though. Port by 36. Into the centre circle. Josh Lai moves it wide to Jack Lukosius, who looks like a new man. Little scare in the first couple of minutes on the bike, but looking all right now on the wing after rupturing that Baker assist. Heads towards the 50. Body work from Sweet as he outmuscles McAndrew. He's had a rough night. Jordan Sweet points for home and says, let me have a crack. He looks to the benches just to check the time and make sure he's doing the right thing.
It's Jordan Sweet's 50th game for Port Adelaide tonight.
It's been a very, very good game of footy from Jordan Sweet.
Steps in, plays on, desperate diving smother. Well done there by McAndrew. Ball ricochets into the 50 and Ware lays a tackle to hold it up.
Probably achieves his outcome there, even though the smother was on. You'd suck 30 seconds off the clock and 4 minutes to go for Port.
Sweet down. Zato rides the contact. The tackle from Cumming deemed to be legal. Ball up, 40 out. Port's 50. 6-goal lead at the moment to the home side.
Sweet grabs it out of the ruck. Handball's over his head. Andrew lays the tackle. Have another ball up, 35 from home. 36 points is the margin. McAndrew tries to knock it down. In goes Horn Francis. Shovels out a handball. I can hear a whistle. And it's going to be a free kick to Horn Francis. 40 out, 45-degree angle to the left. You put your head over it. You want the footy more. It's probably been the story of the night for the Power.
Absolutely has. So he's gone through. Maybe he was taken high, I think. Is that the call?
Potentially taken high.
So
you can see the smiles on the players' faces on the bench, Loz. They're drinking this in. And can Horn Francis finally put the exclamation mark on Showdown 60? Horn Francis from 40 metres out hits the post again. They just don't want to do it. 13-18, 96, 9-5, 59. That's a 37-point margin. There's only 3 minutes left. The Crows could have gone into the top four at the start of this evening with a win. And they'll have a lot to think about after this.
Horn Francis has kicked 3 behinds in this last quarter alone.
Hugo Hawker-Hahn finds Sam Berry broadcast side logo. Uses Taylor Walker at right half forward. The crowd just gets louder every time he touches it. Little sidestep on Byrne-Jones. Walker into the right forward pocket. Crows outnumbered, but it might work. Taylor with a gorgeous handball to Fogarty and the check side from 20 for his 5th of the night. It is the 4th time in his career that he equals that career high. A handful for the Fog on a rough night for Adelaide. Margin back down to 31. 13-18, 96. Port Adelaide, the Crows 10-5, 65. 3 minutes to go on ABC Sport.
Well, Jamo, if there's one Crow that can hold their head high walking off the ground tonight, it's got to be Darcy Fogarty. 4 goals in what feels like a heavier loss than the scoreboard suggests.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm sitting here really surprised as to the performance Adelaide have put out on the park tonight. Even though Taylor Walker was able to get separation and then swing back, just the kick inside 50. Probably lucky in the end. They got the result they were after, but the handball over the top from Zach Taylor, and you're kicking it to 3-on-2, and it's just the advantages aren't there.
It was elite handball work from Taylor.
Yeah,
created something from nothing, and a great check side finish from Fogarty. Back in the middle of the ground, down towards Butters. Tried the overhead handball towards Horn Francis. Falls in the lap of Dawson. Goes on the right boot. Completely misses Neil Bullen. He's going to try and keep this in. He does. Could he create something from nothing? Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Thilthorpe couldn't complete the mark. Handball to the top of the goal square. Quick snap goal. Zach Taylor's got his 2nd. He had a hand in the one before to Fogarty, and he does it all himself this time with a snap from the top of the goal scorer. 11-5-71. Port 13-18-96. 26 gone, final turn.
So the Green Crow is up on the bench, which means obviously go. 20 seconds only off the clock to kick that goal, but maths is not my strong point, but what I'm reading is that the Crows would need 5 goals in 2 minutes and 17 seconds.
It's not quite the Lethal Matthews equation, is it?
It doesn't. The math don't math.
Just trying to make that margin look a little bit less damaging, but it has not been their night.
What's the other lady down there on the bench? Braden, what is she doing?
That's the steward, isn't it?
Interchange official?
Yeah, the interchange official, yeah.
Having a chat to the Crows. Who's holding up the 2-minute sign?
Sweep down to Horn Francis, who arches the back and breaks away from Lockie McAndrew. It's all too easy tonight. Kicks up to right half forward to Durden. Has the run. Jace Burgoyne quickly stops, knowing there was traffic coming, and places his kick into the pocket to Mitch Georgiades. Beautiful footy for Port. Question is, can he cap it off? 2-3 for the night.
That's why she's down there. I've just looked at the maximum interchange numbers, so you can only have 75. Adelaide are at 75, cannot make anything off the bench with under 2 minutes remaining.
Don't think it's going to impact the result, Jamo.
No. It's just unusual. I've never seen it before.
Happens from time to time.
Georgiades is going to take as much clock as he can for this set shot from the boundary.
These are the types of ones he sinks. 3-3 for the night, but this is a tight angle in front of the Wanganeen stand. Mitch Georgiades with a methodical approach.
It'll up the hill.
Georgiades in front of the light tower. Misses to the left. All that build-up for nothing. Port by 26 in showdown 60.
3-4.
Laurel out of defence.
He could have the Coleman absolutely stitched up and not kick another goal for the rest of the year after tonight's game, had he kicked straight all year.
Easily, Jamo. It's quite remarkable, isn't it? What a star player he is. Long down the line, McAndrew at the front of the contest, brought it down towards Peatling, who flicks it back to Nankervis. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking towards Thilthorpe. Worked under it by Elier. From left half back, a quick kick around the body towards Richards. Nankervis tries to gather. Saligo, handball to Worrell. Strong was Jones. Good tackle from Worrell on Joe Berry, right in front of the power bench. And we'll have a ball up. Not long to go in showdown 60. Been an absolute upset for the ages. One of the all-timers in showdown 60, and from the ball up, Ollie Wines takes it back over the boundary line.
They're getting on their feet, the Port Adelaide supporters.
I'll say it till I die. It's the best rivalry in the game, and it continues to surprise. It's jam-packed full of highlights, and tonight I don't think anybody saw this coming. Tossed in, sweet, edges out McAndrew, set upon with the tackle, ball up eastern side. Standing ovation at the Adelaide Oval. 50,000 strong for a side that is 15th on the ladder up against a side that is 5th.
I think ex-Port Adelaide player Paul Rosonico holding up the 30-second sign thinks it's for him.
Out of the stoppage, Sweet toes it forward. Richards tracking is happy to let it roll over, and it will be a boundary throw-in at left half forward. Have a listen to him downstairs.
He should walk along the boundary like they do in a boxing match.
Heart and soul, Paul Rosonico.
You can feel the passion. Tossed in. McAndrew takes it out of the ruck and hands it wide. It's sharp by Butters, throws the body in. It's a roar that you'll hear all the way to Bordertown. Port Adelaide are going to win showdown 60. An almighty upset. A showdown stunner. Port Adelaide rise from the canvas to emphatically smash their rivals by 26 points. They've cost the Crows a spot in the top 4 tonight. 13-19-97 to 11-5-71.
We'll never give in till the flag
in the iconic Invincible strip. Port Adelaide channel the greats of old to pull off a massive victory. At arm wrestle early, Adelaide by 4 at the first change before the Power kicked 8 of 9 goals in a row either side of half-time. Lead of 33 at the final change. Didn't really hurt them at the back end as Adelaide had a late surge. The Power by 26. Mitch Georgiades with 3 goals, Corey Durden the same, and Zach Butters in what might be his final showdown has 37 touches, 23 contested, 13 clearances, and pulls them towards a big win. Another massive night in the great state of South Australia. Rod Jamieson, Lauren Arnell to unpack it all for you on ABC Sport.
Mate, I feel your pain, Jamo, but as watching this Port Adelaide crowd lapping up an incredible win, and you just think about what the footy club, the players, Josh Carr, he was one of the first out there on the ground. The fans getting into a standing ovation and the tough challenges they've had this season with injuries and close losses. This win in this showdown tonight is the blueprint for the future under Josh Carr. And for mine, it was an absolute masterclass from Port Adelaide. And coming in through the week, you think the Crows, where they've been at, what we know they're capable of as a team, what they produced tonight was well below standard. And Port Adelaide, in comparison to the rest of the season, Jamo, have just been exceptional tonight. I'm looking forward to debriefing the whole game. I think from selection, stretching the Crows in that sense was a masterclass from Josh Carr and his coaches, and the execution from the players was just outstanding. And Butters to have 700 metres gained, Jahorn Francis absolutely dominating the whole game despite the inaccuracy in front of goal. It's an incredible win for Port Adelaide, and if you're a fan listening to us on the radio, I hope you're still smiling, and I think you will be until at least midnight tonight, because that's heart and soul Port Adelaide, and it does the prison bars justice for the footy club, and they will enjoy this one.
I think from an Adelaide perspective too, the last 7 weeks have been exceptional. They went down to Hawthorn by only 9 points, but their performances across the last 7 weeks, but they really let themselves down tonight. You go back to round 7, Brisbane, they got beaten up there by 52 points, albeit the margin wasn't as significant tonight, but they just got beat up around the football to the contested, the pressure that was applied, and Adelaide weren't able to deliver the football like they know they have. And I think that's the question marks if you look at last year and reflect, and the rest of the teams now have a serious good look at how to dismantle.
Port by 26 points, I should say, in showdown 60. We're about to find out who won the showdown medal tonight. Jared Walsh standing by. A few players in contention tonight. Mitch Georgiades with the 3 goals for. Jason on Francis, 29 touches, 10 clearances and a goal.
Zach Butters
with 37 touches. I was trying to at least make it a little bit exciting, but
13 clearances, 23 contested, 7 tackles, 11 inside 50s, 15 first possessions.
Metres gained is wild. Like that is.
What's he at? 704.
Yeah. Like I've seen quarters of footy that's 1,200 for a team.
Let's head downstairs with Jared Walsh.
Between the Port Adelaide Football Club and the Adelaide Football Club. Tonight's voting of the Showdown Medal has been carried out by a panel of industry experts. I'd now like to invite Wyatt Simpson, who is a variety grandchild, to present the Showdown Medal awarded to the best player on field. And the winner of the Showdown Medal by a unanimous vote of the Port Adelaide Football Club, Zach Butters.
Two-time Showdown medalist, has the record for the most touches in a showdown way back in Showdown 56. And has backed it up tonight with 37 touches as Port Adelaide get the job done by 26. It might be his last in Port Adelaide colours, but gee, he made it matter. Zach Butters your Showdown 60 medalist.
First of all, I'd like to thank Variety and the work they do in South Australia with disadvantaged kids. To Adelaide, it's always a tough game. You boys had the better of us lately, so yeah, thank you and good luck for the season. You're a bloody good team, so go well. To our fans, thanks for showing up. What a game, what a win. To my teammates, all played super. Thank you.
Well spoken by the stand-in skipper.
And I'd like Zach to stick around as we invite Variety SA Chair Selena Bushell to present the Variety Showdown Shield to the captain of the Port Adelaide Football Club, Zach Butters, and his team.
A huge shout out to both clubs as well for the work they've been doing in the community at the Women's and Children's Hospital as well through the week. Zach Butters takes the Showdown Shield and races over towards the Riverbank stand where his teammates are waiting and they embrace him as one. It is an upset that will linger in SA footy folklore. Not quite the greatest ever, probably still Showdown 15, but gee, it was close. 15th beating 5th, Port by 26 on the night. Zach Butters, your medalist, Rod Jamison.
Too easy in the end, wasn't it, as well? I don't know if he wasn't straight into the game early. He really built up into it too. So if I just have a quick look here, what did he have in the first quarter? Oh, man, he got going. He had 11. Not a bad start. No, well,
they actually tape it off, Jamo.
Yeah, if he had it gone at that rate, well, he almost did. But, look, I mean, we know what class he is, and he's been talked about a lot for all those reasons. And, geez, if you can do 10 things out of the 10, if you can do 9 really well, and the one is knock on him and he doesn't kick enough goals, he certainly sets you up to present and provide others to have that opportunity and the score involvements that's involved in. Like, he's just closing by speed on the opposition, but his ability to win the football, then get away from the opposition too, is elite. So, and for a diminutive little man with a very, very big mouth, Loz, he is an exceptional player.
I'm finding it hard to put into words how incredible Port were. I think, I know we can talk about the Crows and how disappointing I think their game was. I don't think they played the game that was in front of them. They didn't adapt to Butters and Horne-Francis dominating the game. But for Port Adelaide, I think they'll enjoy tonight. Let's say that. I think the ability to stretch the Crows' weapons and minimise the impact of the Crows' run off half back and absolutely dominate clearance. It was clinical.
I mean, the context is average age of 24 tonight. This is a side that is littered with injuries, undersized in the back line without Radaglia. I don't think anybody tipped them, to be honest. I know the official tipping site would have been 80-20 the way it was panning out, and that's generous. And yeah, they've done it through the year, Loz. There have been flashes of brilliance that have showcased that Josh Carr has them on the right track. They've beaten Geelong. They've been very close to some other heavyweights. And in between that, they've had some poor performances, mostly on the road. But really, the foundation is there. But unfortunately, the narrative will come back to, look, if Butters stays or goes, do they go backwards or forwards? Because really what he's doing is, shaping a game plan that is ready to really beat the best in a few years' time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He's clearly been the best player on the ground. And at the same time, I think, in fairness, you look at a game from Jason Horne-Francis, and his last patch of footy has been as mature as we've seen from him. We've always known what he's capable of, but his production in this back half of the year is as good as I've seen him play in a run of games. And his game tonight, the 29, nearly 500 metres gained, 4 shots at goal, and just his ability to see the contest through, not just be in the first moment. He's the guy that's going to be leading this midfield next year. And we've seen some exposure for Richards again inside. I think there's opportunities if Sam Powell-Pepper gets another look at AFL this season, surely he might be someone, if Bammett and Zaddo stay in the team and Powell-Pepper's tank's good enough as he comes back, maybe he's someone that can be that crash and bash through the midfield as well. But I think there's such promising signs. Josh Lai, he's had some really good games of footy. Tonight was his best. 10 marks, and many of them intercept marks. Logan Evans continues to get better. Willem Drew on a wing. There's a lot of versatility we saw from Port Adelaide tonight. They adapted to the conditions far better than the Crows. And Corey Durden, 3 goals too.
I think that's his best game. It's his 15th game for Port. That's his best game I think I've seen him play. And you touched on Jack Whitlock, like he stepped up too. So there's a number of players tonight that have actually performed as good as
Josh
they have.
Lai. I loved him across the night.
Whitlock and Berry are the two for me who have just grown this season, and Lai is just going to keep getting better. But you should be excited if you're a Port Adelaide fan, not just from tonight, but for what's to come.
They've given the trophy to Connor Rosie to lead them off. He's only played the 2 games this year and is out for the year with that shocking hamstring injury and nerve damage, but he's going to lead them off the field.
And hey, never say never. They're only 2 games out of the 10. So, Northland Saints to come in the next 2. The run's not entirely dicey. Port Adelaide will still have some belief. Winners by 26 points here at the Adelaide Oval in front of 50,000. Braden Ingram's down in the room for the celebrations.
Oh, I can barely hear you, Aaron. It's a huge cheer as they come in. There was a decent one for Josh Carr, and now it's Connor Rosie leads them in. They are understandably full of joy. Even Ken Hinkley got a cheer when he came in. So it's a great vibe down here. And you go down the list of some of those players that enjoying their first showdown win. Zatto, Bammett, Durden, Ware, Lai. I reckon there's a couple more I've forgotten, but there's quite a few that won't have experienced this moment before. And as you mentioned, it might be Zach Butter's last. But if it is, it's been a great celebration. And Josh Carr is pulling quite a few in here, so this might be a little bit of a bigger song, and it certainly is quite a bit of staff here. The Gatorade getting thrown around, and they're all linking up. This is very much a whole of club win. We know how much of a motivating force Josh Carr is, and given the fact that that first showdown early in the season was the first time he lost a showdown, well, it's fair to say he's very much made up for it. This is a huge song, at least 50 people in here. Well, that circle almost resembled a rectangle as we had a swarm of bodies in there, and what a great moment as they hoist the showdown trophy yet again. Jason Horne-Francis and Jackson Mead. It is a great vibe in the rooms, and I'll have some more reaction for you shortly.
First ever wins for Xavier Bammett and Mitch Zatto, and around that as well, we got to see 8 players win their first ever showdown tonight for Port Adelaide. So big night for the football club. Not many anticipated this. Winners by 26 points in Showdown 60. And it was really nice to see the entire staff get to be a part of the song there.
Yeah, even you see the dietitian, every single coach, media manager. Well done. It's it takes a lot to win a showdown, and they don't come easy. So I'm wrapped for Josh Carr, his first showdown win as coach, and this young group of players. Yeah, it was a ripping game of footy. I know we've got some heavy Crow supporters here sitting alongside me who fair enough, should be disappointed. There's more to come in the season for you guys, I reckon, and some harsh lessons. We've seen a lot of resilience. I've been a big fan of the Crows, but what I saw tonight, I think the measured, calm approach needs to come front and centre, and without an emotional reaction that's too heavy. Because Port showed up and the Crows didn't, and Adelaide need to remember off the back of this what they're capable of, but also what it takes to produce your best, and I just don't think they were ready for that tonight.
I think they should. Josh Carr should do a Ramsgate trophy and actually hand it out to the toughest bloke on the night for Port Adelaide.
So I'm sitting in the corner saying, let's just decrease the emotion. Let's go to the Ramsgate.
Let's get it up. Well, they do the value player of the week, which they've brought back in, and that is the prison bar jumper. They've had that over the last month or so, and they're all wearing it tonight. So clearly all value players. And the invincible jumper, maybe they need to wear it every week. They are invincible in the invincible jumper.
It's an absolute shellacking. It's a belting Port Adelaide gave Adelaide tonight. Like, it's really... Like the clearance work from Sweet, Butters and Jason Horne-Francis, they had 28 clearances between the three of them. Dawson, McAndrew and Berry had 11 between those three. You know, like then first possessions is off the charts. I think Adelaide handballed too much, like at 135, 198 kicks. Like it's a lot of handballing. So again, trying to create run, but yes, Port Adelaide were instinctive and or cut it off, so they weren't able to get that run and link up or that forward handball too. Marks inside 50, 17-9 in favour of Port. Marks overall 100-79 in favour of Port. It's a real beat up job that Port Adelaide have done in Adelaide tonight.
Crows kicked the last two, so it really should have been a 6-goal win. It's flattered them 26 points in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder, we talked to Murray Davis, the Director of Coaching at the Crows, this morning on ABC Grandstand, and he talked through the Millero selection and the hammy tightness, and all with you. You've got to leave a player like that out if they're not right. But that was a big hole tonight, and it's ultimately you hope it pays off, and it means that he's healthy and fit for the remainder of the year for the Crows, because without him, the ball use was not great, and that's a hallmark.
Isaac Rankin was the other one too, wasn't it? Early, gets injured. Yep. A couple of times, and so he didn't really have an impact on the game as we know he normally does.
It's interesting with that centre bounce stuff, because they actually got beaten there last week too, but they were able to bring the ball out through the types of Miller, who played a great game, and that's how they found their way to score it. And Murray Davis did say during the week, we're learning different ways to win the game. Well, tonight they got smashed in there, and as you touched on, they couldn't find a way out, and they really had no lever to pull. They really couldn't stop the run.
And that's why I mentioned Willem Drew a couple of times on a wing, like the defensive work from Port Adelaide to make sure that those punches weren't coming from half-back. So Port Adelaide look after stoppage, and as you said, Melbourne didn't quite get Adelaide's defenders done offensive, with keeping Miller and Hawker Hahn contained when they were coming out of the back line. But you look at Corey Durden, we said he kicked 3 goals too, but he also cut off an absolute guaranteed goal for Adelaide in D50, seeing everyone through. I saw Joe Berry go full length of the ground to fill a hole for Lukosius, who couldn't get back on a wing. Though the small forwards for Port Adelaide didn't just do the job offensively, but they saw Adelaide's defenders through defensively the whole length of the ground. And so credit to those guys. And I think it's what you'd hope if you're an Adelaide supporter is a timely lesson. Yep. If you don't show up at your best, this is what can happen.
I think free kicks 23-20, not concerned about that, but the umpires, absolute howlers tonight. Absolute howlers.
Yeah, so the first one that you're referring to was a kick from Thilthorpe that bounced over the behind line and went back into play, and they just let it play out. And Keys then wins a free kick. He kicks the goal and then gets brought back over the mark. So clearly Ark could have been checking to see if it was over. They didn't bother checking. He kicks the goal. They go back into the middle of the ground. Everyone at the ground has seen that it's bounced over, but they refuse to intervene.
Yeah, I don't understand why they wouldn't. There's no intelligent rationale as to why you wouldn't.
I'm just probably the most egregious we've seen in terms of ARC reviews that have been missed because of the time, as you touched on, Tom, to actually check it and how clear the ball was over the line.
So again, we talk about it's 26 points, but in a game, it doesn't have to be late in the game. It doesn't need to cost you a game, but you've got the ability to be able to check and do this to get it right. That's all I'm after, get it right. And we all clearly saw that they got it horribly wrong, and yet they've continued on and allowed it.
And look, thankfully it didn't impact the result in the end. Port Adelaide were well and truly on top of that stage.
They got a goal straight back the other way. But, again, that's that sort of stuff.
Momentum swings, isn't it?
It's a shame too, because Tom and I, off air, I think at half time, we took the headsets off and raving about how good the game was.
Yeah.
And both said to each other, the umpires have been pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's a shame that that's what's eventuated in the second half.
Well, the other one too was down here when Taylor Walker, when it went out and they threw it in.
Yeah.
We can see it. You can clearly see it. So, again, I'm not perfect. But when you've got the ability to be able to go back and access and get something done really quickly, Port Adelaide should have had the footy there.
Yeah, well, the point of the technology is to remove the howler, and we had 2 howlers tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
One of them they got right, one of them they didn't. With you for the next 28 minutes on ABC Sport, wrapping things up here at the Adelaide Oval. Earlier today, Carlton defeating West Coast by 53 points, so 6 on the trot for Josh Fraser. And Collingwood defeating Richmond by 34 points at the MCG, so they move into the top 10 after the Blues temporarily had a spot in there. And Port Adelaide now just 2 games out of it after their win over Adelaide tonight. The Crows lose a chance to jump into the 4, certainly not out of the mix, but it was a golden opportunity tonight to leapfrog the Cats, and now they're actually dropping down. So they started in 5th, now they're in 6th because of the loss. Brisbane managed to pip them on percentage So the Crows are one behind, and the reigning premiers get closer to a top 4 berth.
Missed opportunity. Big missed opportunity tonight, and I'm keen for your thoughts, Tom, as well. I know you're a Crows man, and
I'm not a Crows man.
You're not a Crows man.
I'm not.
Where have I got that wrong?
I don't know.
I think rumours on the street are it's the polar opposite, actually.
Oh, my word. Okay, firstly, I apologise.
Well, that suggests to me that I've got a wonderful poker face, that you wouldn't know that when Cook kicked the goal, in the earlier showdown, and you wouldn't know tonight with a Port complete dominance where I sit.
Well, you've got to tell me now.
Well, I'm a Port man, but I keep that quiet.
Well, he tried to, at least.
Well, when you ask me a direct question.
My jaw's on the floor. No way.
As a neutral Richmond supporter, I think Adelaide were very poor tonight.
But
firstly, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Far out.
That's okay.
Jeez.
I try and call it straight so you won't know
you've done well.
whichever team I go for.
I noticed it all night, actually. You all Port Adelaide through and through.
Says Rod Jamison, who bleeds navy blue and gold.
Yeah. I think we probably need to hear more of Jamo.
And red.
All I would say, asking me about that, is that, a few of the things outlined during the week, and while the Crows have been on this amazing run, a few of the stats, that centre bounce stuff was really highlighted.
So you started the rumour about Josh Worrell then, did you?
Jeez. Port winners by 26. What a night. They were so impressive through the campaign. We're going to switch gears and get some reaction in the rooms. Braden Ingram's downstairs with the Port Adelaide camp.
Thanks, Aaron. I've got the spearhead, Mitch Georgiadis. Mitch, 3-4 for you on the night again, having a great impact. But I just want to talk about that song, The Whole of Club. What was that like? That felt like a special moment.
Yeah, that was a special one. It's been a challenging year. We've had some couple close losses, and to win in a showdown after losing a couple of boys last week in a game and probably going in as underdogs, that was a special one to win.
Probably going in as underdogs is an understatement, because no one gave you a chance. No one was tipping you, and anyone who said they did is kidding themselves. How did you do it? How did Josh motivate this group? How did you get up for this game?
I think we probably channeled that a little bit, that not many people gave us a chance, and we knew within the 4 walls what we were building this year, and we had a complete confidence going into this game. If we brought pressure, that's a showdown. That's what it's all about, and we were able to do that, which was amazing.
You had the great start, but again, didn't quite convert it on the scoreboard, but you didn't go into your shells from there. How did you keep sort of playing your style of game, knowing that the Crows have that ability to just, ram goals on you?
Yeah, we knew that'd come at some stage with their quality outfit, obviously, and for us, it was just focusing on the moment, one at a time, each contest, each quarter, reset. And like you said, we started well. We played some really good footy at the start. Didn't quite convert, but we knew what we were doing was the right thing, so we just trusted in that and we went back to the well.
We always know Zach Butters and Jason Horne-Francis are fired up, but they were another level today. I mean, Jace was going at Rochelle and Saligo pretty lippy. I'm sure you heard some of that. I mean, what did you make of their performances? We know how elite they are, but again, they elevate this group.
They just continue to amaze between the two of them. They're freaks, and they're two competitive beasts. They play the footy the right way, and when you put a footy in front of them, they're hard to stop.
For yourself again, the kicking boots, you get the win again, but is it just one of those things at the moment?
It's a little bit of one of those things. I mean, I feel like I'm kicking them well more often than not. There's a combination of the shots I'm having from some wide, far-out distances, and I feel like I'm kicking them well. They're just missing, but I'll keep working on it, and hopefully a couple more go through soon.
Take it away, team.
Mitch, it's Lozarnell. Great win tonight. What an exceptional performance from the whole team. And while it's 3 goals for, you've taken 11 marks as well and had a quality game. Can you talk us through from a forward line perspective how important, firstly, the smalls were? We saw Corey Durden hit the scoreboard throughout, but just the defensive work to see through those Adelaide halfbacks. And then also touch on the tools alongside you tonight. We know Whitlock's growing up every game, but Visentini just needing to offset those tall defenders as well.
Yeah, that was a combination of that. I think as a forward line, we had a real emphasis on pressure, and no better to do that than the little boys, Corey, Joe Berry, Joe Richards. They were phenomenal tonight. Even Zato in that third quarter really sparked us, I thought. So that was our emphasis going to the game, and then the contest was really strong from the big boys as well. I mean, Dante, Jack Whitlock, they did their job all night, competed really well, and allowed our small boys to go to work.
I know you're likely not in the midfield meetings, but how much insight can you give us on stoppage planning going into tonight, particularly at centre clearance? You guys just absolutely cleaned them out.
Yeah, you're right. I probably have no idea what's going on in there. I stick far away from that. But yeah, I think if you look at the names we put in there, Zach Butters, Jason Horne-Francis, Ollie Wines, Willem Drew, Jordan Sweet, you know what we're going to get. There's some competitive beasts, and I think tonight that stood out. It was amazing. It was good for them.
And has there been any chat walking off? I know you guys will be absolutely riding a wave, but just the fact that it seemed that Butters and Horn Francis weren't tagged at all during the night?
Yeah, look, again, I probably didn't have a whole lot to do with what's happening up there, but, I mean, they're quality players. That's the great thing about our team. We've got so many good players, and if they potentially tag one, the other one might get off. So, no, they were both very impressive tonight.
Mitch, Rod Jamieson, congratulations on the win. Jordan Sweet, it's his 50th game for Port Adelaide, and he's just an incredible player. He's getting better.
Yeah, he stands up when he needs to, the big fella. He doesn't think he's a tall boy, that's for sure. Sometimes he thinks he can chisel one through the corridor, and we just need to bring him back down to earth. But he's been great. He's a competitive beast. He's a big boy, and he does some really nice things around the ground as well. So, no, he's built really well over this season. He was challenged at the start, and I think he's up there with one of the best rucks in the comp at the moment.
You had a number of players that played their first showdown tonight. How did you prepare them this week?
Yeah, I think Kari probably ran through the importance of what a showdown means to this town, to this club, and I mean, obviously didn't want it to build it up too much more than a normal game for these young boys, because we've got a fair few of them in our team, but just to go out and keep doing what they're doing one moment at a time in one contest, and then that's all you can control.
What does the prison bar jumper mean to the current group of players? I mean, it was a throwback to the Invincibles. You certainly played that way tonight.
Yeah, it means everything. It's the foundation of this club, and you hear the stories in the past and how proud it is. People talk about this jumper and the Invincibles, like you talked about. It was an amazing era, and it means so much to this footy club. So it was an honour to wear it tonight.
It was exceptional the way that you played, and it felt like you targeted a few of those angry boys in the Crows' defence. Is that fair?
They've got a couple of angry boys. I think every team has a couple of angry boys. So not necessarily anything we challenged or talked about specifically, but I think if we played with a bit of fire tonight, that was certainly going to put us in good stead.
Mitch, you reached your 200th goal tonight as well. There's some pretty elite company with you at Port Adelaide. So Warren Treadray, Robbie Gray's in there, Chad Wingard, Travis Boak, Charlie Dixon. How does it feel to be in the all-time list for the Power?
Yeah, it's a nice one, obviously, to be a part of. Hopefully a couple more to come, and if I could kick a bit straight, it'd be even better, I reckon.
You touched on it earlier a bit there. Is there anything in terms of your setup? Because it feels like you're really nailing the hard ones, but the gimmies are the ones that seem to be hurting you. Yeah, there was a bit of a combination. I think tonight I probably didn't have a lot of gimme shots. There's a lot of shots from 40, 50 out and on a severe angle. So it's a combination of working where I get my shots from, and I feel like I've got a really strong routine. It's obviously probably not showing the reward I'd like at the moment, but I know if I keep trusting it, good things will come. And you're going to have to deal with your dual showdown medalist housemate Zach Butters tonight. I'm sure he'll be up and about and absolutely loose. What are you anticipating from him when you get home? Oh, yeah, who knows? He's not a massive fan of a beer, but I'm sure he'll indulge in a couple tonight. Hey, there's a couple of rumblings as well that he might know where he's headed and has told a few people close to him. Do you have any indication as to where he might be next year? No idea at all. Obviously, it's a long way to go through the season. Zach's got his right to take his time and assess all options, but I mean, you can't question what he does out in the field. You look at him tonight, he stands up for this footy club. He's a true leader. I'm reading the pocket profile here, Mitch, too, and it actually says, who's the coach's pet? Who's the coach's pet? And this is from Willem Drew. Who is it? Zach Butters. Zach. Yeah. All right. Who would make a fortune outside of football in your team? Probably Ollie Wines. He's gone Kane Farrell. Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. What does he do? He likes to invest into random things, so maybe one might hit someday. Right. We're going to save you, Mitch, before Jamo just decides to chew your ear off. Congratulations on the win, and we will see you in a week's time. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Well done. Port Adelaide winners by 26 points, and Mitch Georgiades with 3 goals, 4 on the night, and does raise the bat for his double ton. He's the 10th player in Port Adelaide history to reach 200. You can hear the smile through his voice, can't you? You know, like that performance from Port, which I know that we've talked about a lot, but they've had so many close losses this year, 5 under 3 points or less, and then you add in that big win over Geelong, and then, to cause a major upset tonight. I know publicly teams, Lauren and Rod, don't talk about, upsetting their rivals, run into finals, but that would have been a big part of the motivation.
Yeah, and I think he mentioned that a little bit with the Josh Carr messaging during the week, and the underdog tag for a showdown suits perfectly. And my confession, I don't know if it's been clear through the call tonight, but I thought the Crows had been by 5-6 goals easy. Yeah. So you've got to love a showdown. I've been squared up with that tonight, fair to say.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, even at this point of the season.
I must admit, I felt like the cliche was over. You know, that sort of form doesn't matter because, you know, the earlier showdown of the year, they're both probably going about the same. You know, Port still had a number of their star players not injured and, you know, the Crows had Dawson out. So that was sort of a fair reflection of where the teams were at. But by this time around, the way that the Crows were going and the fact they'd won 6 of the last 7 showdowns, they'd really owned this rivalry. So it sort of felt like that showdown cliche might have come to an end. So I'm happy it's still alive.
I arrived at the ground and got in the lift, and the great Dwayne Russell, ex-Port Adelaide and Geelong player, he came up and he goes, how much is your mob going to belt us here tonight?
And that's where I was at.
Yeah, and I did say to him, I thought it was going to be like a 6-goal with Miller in. It might have been a 10 or more. He goes, I'll try and go and make the game interesting then, shall I? and sure enough, he's turned it around. But if you have Mitch Georgiades, he's 31 goals coming into tonight. Ben King kicked 42. Even if he got 50%, he's in front by 20 goals on the Coleman.
It's insane.
Like, it's just the amount of football and he's kicking. Oh, wow.
And he's comfortably leading the league for marks inside 50, so he's getting set shot opportunities. These aren't just sprays under pressure.
I do love the confidence in his voice, though. Like, when you ask him about it, he's got to be so sick of that question. Yeah. Like, that's been coming all year. And so to handle it in the way that he is and with the confidence that he is and the clarity as well on tonight, like the set shots, if you measure distance matters, right? And also angle, and he's able to reflect with clarity on that from tonight and say, well, these are the reasons why it's happening. The numbers skew if he's getting the footy out wide. And, I just think you got a guy that's generating that many opportunities, 11 marks tonight as well, and the confidence that he still has at this point of the year, despite everyone talking about how inaccurate his goal kicking's been. It's going to set him up really well.
He should kick left foot like Byron Redrow.
He used to roll around, didn't he?
He might even be a left footer. He doesn't know it yet.
So Port next week have North Melbourne here on Sunday, St Kilda after that, and then a little rough run where they have Freo, Brisbane and Sydney in a patch of 3 or 4 and finish with Melbourne and Essendon. So, look, they're not totally out of the mix, 2 games out of the top 10, but there's some winnable games across the next month.
Play like that against North Melbourne on Sunday here at Adelaide Oval next week. Surely you're winning the game.
Yeah. There was some tipping around after the bye that suggested Port will win one more game for the year.
Jeez.
Which is a remarkable thing to say about any team. Maybe you could say that about Essendon, who've only won one for the year, but that's sort of some of the areas that people have been, or Richmond, about the predictions about Port. And that time, they'd still had a percentage above 100. So that had the close losses. Yep, we know that they've got players out and they're a young developing team, a learning team, but they can clearly, follow a coach's game plan.
Flip side is Adelaide. So they've got West Coast away next Friday, which they'd feel like is a winnable game. But I guess the rumblings are with Wayne Miller as hamstring, even though it was minor, do you risk taking him on the flight? And then, the Eagles at times at home can be a different unit. So they've got to get back on track because they feel like they're a top 4 team, but they've let an opportunity slip.
And I think that's what tonight has to be about, is like there's an opportunity to square up, and it's round 16. So you're getting to the point where it's almost, it's not too late to get the square up, but you're inching closer to the point where you don't want to be playing poor footy at this point of the year. This is probably your last opportunity, Jamo, in this showdown, round 16, to go, that's as bad as we're going to be this year, and we're done with that. And now we're very clear on what makes us a very good team and where our gaps are.
Yeah. And coming 8 games remaining, I think Matty Nix will say, we got beat up and we're going to learn from it. And I think that's full stop. And then we've got 8 games to go.
And there can be there's no questions about it. It's so clear.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure when they go through their review process, it'll be, as bright as day.
Fumbly.
Yep. And that centre bounce work. So, it's one for them, and no one wants to get that reminder in the great rivalry, Showdown 60. But it happened.
Jamo, if you're in that coaching group for the Crows and you look at the last 2 weeks of centre clearance, D's into Port Adelaide, and you just purely look at the numbers and the mix that you've got in there, what levers can you pull? Because obviously they went with Soligo tonight. Rankin's going to have an injury. You'd assume he's off for a scan in the morning. Make sure that the knee and the ankle are okay. He's obviously played out the game, but Soligo, we know he can find the footy. Rochelle didn't tonight. He had 9 touches. Rankin, we know how damaging he can be, but beyond that, is there anything else in the kit bag for the Crows?
I just thought early Jordan Sweet was winning so much of the taps. Now, clearly, if Port Adelaide are starting like they start in that triangle and then they're away, they get first possession, handball back or out to the side, go. Why wouldn't you just stand alongside them? As simple as that. Just make it a contest and scrap it out. They can't be getting belted like that. The first possession stuff, because as you know more, Loz, too, they lose the footy, it goes into the defensive 50 and it's in there, it's under pressure, you've got to win it back, then you've got to get it back out here. Their execution and decision-making tonight was really poor, so then it kept coming back in, so they were constantly under pressure, which then led to, I guess, the tackling inside 50, Port Adelaide outstanding. They didn't use the football, they took options, they went inside. They did things tonight that they don't normally do. And again, I always feel that a side might have an anomaly game where they get blown off the park. Well, Adelaide have had 2 now, the Brisbane one and now this one. Adelaide had 2 last year and then the 2 most important games of the year.
Yeah.
So
final month of last year, they were the worst team in the league for first possession differential.
So it's a real knock-on, but they've got the quality of player and personnel in there to do it. When you have a look at that side, like Cumming, he can win. Like Dawson, Rankin, Soligo, Rochelle, get him in there more. Again, he did come in there in the second half, but he didn't go in there last week. So there's options that they can throw around, but they haven't been able to do it. I don't know why. I can't answer that in terms of... But certainly I was surprised that they didn't change where they were to make it more difficult for the opposition.
Just find it so odd that you're so all in on Josh Rochelle for half a season and then once Rankin comes back, you just throw it away. And eventually, as you said, they went to it tonight, but it was probably too little too late.
Well, they came in the second half, but Port Adelaide kept winning the clearances. They kept winning the first possessions. Change something. Stand somewhere else.
So you put it on the guys that are in there.
Totally.
You're not throwing anyone else in. You're saying Sam Berry, Jordan Dawson.
Well, Berry's a bull. He's the number 1 clearance player in the league.
Get your hands dirty.
Yeah, totally. So, again, I get it. You have a bad day. But, again, I haven't watched them train either, too, Loz. So they're not going to... I wouldn't have thought they're going to throw something out there that they haven't trained or tried or have asked a player to step up and expose. So,
Rochelle's the tricky one for me because they're obviously not generating enough inside 50 footy, and he's been magic in front of centre in the last couple of weeks. And I can understand why then you'd go, well, Soligo goes inside because if we do get a little bit coming out of centre clearance, then Rochelle's going to be helping Fogarty tonight kick the goals. So I get that, and that's going to be the tricky one.
I wouldn't mind seeing Thilthorpe in the middle there too. Leave McAndrew in there to ruck and put Thilthorpe in the middle.
They tried it in the pre-season and it was something that they really talked about doing.
While we stall for time a little bit and try to get a Crows interview, should we do the votes? 3, 2 and 1? I think it's pretty easy who gets you 3 tonight, but...
Well, Butters is a walk-up start, isn't he?
Butters.
Yeah.
Can you get 6?
I think
10.
So Butters, Horn Francis is the 3-2. The one for me, it really... it's tricky because Georgiades kicks 3, Durden kicks 3, but I thought Josh Lai taking... How many did he have? He had 10 marks, and his ability to peel off and be third up, particularly in that first half. I don't mind a little left field one voter, and I'd love to have Josh Lai in there if we can tonight, guys.
Seal of approval, Jamo?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. 3 to Butters, 2 to Horn Francis, and 1 to Josh Elias.
Why would I question that?
You cannot question Lauren Arnell.
No, we will
He's
not.
the greatest.
You can.
Dual Showdown medalist now, Zach Butters. So picked one up in Showdown 56, has one tonight in Showdown 60. 37 touches, 23 contested, 7 tackles, 13 clearances, 700 metres gained, and 11 inside 50s just to top it off.
It's a game and a half.
It's a pretty good
Outrageous.
performance. And if it is his final showdown, gee, he went out with a bang. Awesome there from Zach Butters.
I hope it is his final showdown.
I think so do I after the pre-game. Carlton defeated West Coast earlier by 53 points. Collingwood got the job done against Richmond by 34 as well. So your live ladder after Saturday night has the Blues just outside the top 10. They're just one loss behind the Suns, who are yet to play a game. Collingwood have jumped into 9th. Adelaide's down in 6th after the loss tonight, and your bottom 4 after the losses to West Coast and Richmond still goes Essendon last, Richmond, West Coast, Port Adelaide in 15th. That being said, they'd still feel a little bullish of what they could do at the back end of the year. But yeah, it feels like it's starting to take shape a bit, but probably the story of the day was Carlton, 6-0 for Josh Fraser.
It's staggering. Well, we're lucky enough, here in the media centre, like Scott Camporelli, the ABC that defected.
The traitor? Shooters?
What did he say? He came in the box. He goes, Voss had his team, like he knew what he wanted, but now Josh Fraser's coming in and playing with the kids and juniors. And again, things had to change, and they've changed. So I don't follow them closely enough, but, what have they won? 6 in a row.
Yeah.
The kids are having a real crack. And I think that's what we saw tonight again from Port Adelaide. The kids have a crack.
And I think it's a lot on coaching there, which I know you've brought up, but not a lot tonight, Loz. A great coaching performance from Josh Carr, and then you can tie that in with what Fraser's doing at Carlton.
Let's head downstairs and get some reaction from the Crows rooms. Braden Ingram has made his way over.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. Alex Newbullen's been good enough to join us just coming out of the shower. Alex, what do you put that down to, mate? You're on the back foot from pretty early on.
Yeah, it was a tough night from our end. We felt like we didn't get the contest right at all. That's both in the air and on the ground. And when you don't get that right, you chase your tail a bit. So credit where credit's due. I thought Port Adelaide brought a really high-pressure game, and, we weren't able to get it done. So it's really disappointing. But however, you've been in this position before as a footballer, and you understand that it's not just one game to define your whole season. We've got to take our learnings, make sure we do address that, get a great understanding, and we move forward in, I think, it's 6 days' time against West Coast. So we got to learn from it, but also take it with a grain of salt in the sense of it's not a trend at the moment, but yes, a disappointing night.
It's going to go down as one of the biggest upsets in showdown history. I know you guys, don't listen to the outside noise, as you say, but that sort of upset, what was Matthew Nix's message in the postgame?
Yeah, we're about to go in there, so I haven't seen Nixie yet, but it'll just be a great reminder that the footy industry as a whole, it's so even. Not that we came in underestimating it. We understood that Port Adelaide's footy is very good, although they hadn't been winning as many as they would have liked. So we just got to make sure we understand the key areas that we need to get back to. And a great reminder for our group that there's still a lot of footy to play, and you can never just expect that your game's going to be the same as it was the week before. And probably the biggest thing for mine as well, we weren't able to manage the momentum tonight. It did feel like Port Adelaide had a lot of momentum for a lot of night, and probably lucky they missed a few early on as well. Otherwise, the scoreboard could have been even worse.
I think it's fair to say you're not a side that tags often, but in hindsight, should you have put more work into Zach Butters or Jason Horne-Francis?
Oh, yeah, but you're also back in your team system at times. As soon as you go too focused in on one individual, you can get pulled apart. So, yeah, as a team, we let ourselves down there. Zach had a tremendous game. I thought Horne-Francis also had great influence. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it down to one or two individuals. It's something that, as a group, we should be able to better nullify their influence.
Only one player, but how much does not having Wayne Miller out there hurt?
Yeah, certainly you miss Junior out there, his ability to have that ruthless edge on defence, but yeah, it's one of those ones. Hopefully we can get him back, but also a great opportunity for our team to experience when he's not out there. You've got to have certain moments where you've got to stand up, and yeah, as a group, we just weren't able to do that consistently enough.
I've heard from the Crows that Isaac Rankin at this stage won't need scans, but obviously spent most of the second quarter and the third quarter up forward. When he was in that position, did he lose a little bit of spark? He went into the mid in the last quarter, but by that stage the game was mostly over.
Yeah, pleasing that he was able to play out the game first and foremost. When you saw him come off, you held your breath for a second, but yeah, it's one of those things. The magnets shift around, and albeit if someone does go up forward for a bit more or someone goes inside, you want to still see our identity, Braden, and we just didn't get that tonight, and that's what's so disappointing. But as I said, 6 days to look at ourselves around our game, and another opportunity presents itself. That's why you love the AFL industry. We're just chatting in the rooms. Imagine if you're an Olympian, had this sick feeling in your gut and you got to wait 4 years to get another opportunity. So we're looking for the next challenge, and hopefully you can see a Crows identity game.
Alex Neil-Bullen, thanks for a few minutes.
All good, mate. Cheers.
Great to have the vice-captain of the Crows downstairs after their 26-point loss. He always speaks so well, very level-headed, Alex Neil-Bullen.
I was going to ask him a serious question and then a silly question. Well, not a silly question.
I was going to ask him if Braden had let him put his towel on before the interview, just out of the shower. I think he raised an eyebrow.
You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
I've always been a fan of his. Like, he's a player from an opposing team, the way he plays. And I was at Marion a couple of years ago, and I got approached by a lady, and she said, "I'm Alex Neil-Bullen's mum."
Oh, right. I thought this was a towel story.
And I was on the board at the time.
Yeah.
And he goes, he wants to come home. I go,
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was probably 5 years ago. But then he quickly signed with Melbourne for another 2 years. And then I ended up running into again. I said, "Well, why did he go and do that for? You just told me that." Anyway, but he ended up coming back home.
Love having a laugh.
We've actually bumped into her a few times.
To wrap up the coverage, Port winners by 26 points in Showdown 60. Almighty upset. We're going to unpack it all tomorrow. AFL Sunday from midday Eastern Standard Time with Matt Clinch and Cameron Ling. Doubleheader to wrap up round 16 and this bye period. North Melbourne and Essendon at Docklands from 2:30 and Fremantle and Gold Coast to finish the round from 4:15 Eastern. Women's T20 Cricket World Cup's on tonight as well, so you can catch the Windies clash with Ireland later at 11 Eastern, which is pretty much now. Pakistan and the Netherlands about to wrap up as well, and Australia in action tomorrow against India from 11:15 p.m, so you can hear that on the ABC Listen app through the T20 World Cup button. Huge thanks to Lauren Arnell, Rod Jamieson, Dominic Lombardo, Braden Ingram downstairs, Tom Wilson and Lucas Binns back in the studio. What a night. Showdowns just continue to surprise us. Port Adelaide winners by 26 points. We'll unpack it tomorrow on AFL Sunday.